friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. And I knew that. And I also know that you're extremely clumsy. So...
Yeah, I don't know if I feel like that's fair.
You know what? Props to me for, like, biting the bullet and keeping my fingers where they needed to be with absolute disregard for my own safety.
I can't
deserve
say
a medal.
that I am surprised at all.
I deserve
that
an award.
You somehow twisted this into I deserve a cookie for you not hurting me.
Yeah, for you. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you always deserve a cookie. Just ask him.
I guess what I'm really trying to say is thanks for your help. You can find Fort Worth Roots online at fortworthroots.com or on all the social media channels as Fort Worth Roots. And there are videos associated with every one of these episodes. You can go to YouTube and look for Fort Worth Roots. Shout out to our listener supporters, Angela Hauk and Stephanie Daniels. They make a monthly contribution to the show through the Patreon app, and you can be a supporter of the show by going to the patreon.com webpage and typing in Fort Worth Roots in the Find Creator search bar. It'll pull us up, and for as little as $4 a month, you can also be a supporter of the Fort Worth Roots podcast. We share the bulk of the information about our sponsors and upcoming events at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Real quick, this episode is sponsored by Roofing Solutions by Darren Hauk. You can go to roofingsolutionshauk.com, or you can get them on the phone at 817-882-6520. That will be in the show notes. And just by telling them you heard about them on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, they're going to give you 50% off on a roofing tune-up. This information will be in the show notes. Again, that's roofingsolutionshauk.com or 817-882-6520. Next big event we want to let you know about is the River Oaks Christmas Parade. It is happening Saturday, December 10th at 6 p.m. The route ends at City Hall for the Christmas tree lighting, and it's open to the public, of course. If this is your first time listening to the Fort Worth Roots podcast, or it's your 100th time listening to the show, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to this on, and find us on your favorite social media platform. Just look for Fort Worth Roots. We post information on bands that have been on the show, different events that they've got coming up, things that we'll be doing in the near future, and so much more. If you couldn't tell by the title of this episode or in the description, we had a lot of fun here. We have 4 guests today. It's going to start off with Jeffery Lord from the Funkytown Podcast. Then we got Joe Guzman, who's a local musician and the creator of Psychedelic Panther Festival. And Richard Keller, frontman for Richie and the Burning Sensations, a band that you've heard about if you've been following the Fort Worth Roots podcast. And then we close the episode out with somebody that keeps popping up in these episodes over the past 2.5 years while we've been doing the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Cody Halford from Abilene, Texas. If you're not familiar with the show, then you might not know what I'm talking about. But this is a good friend of mine, and we've been wanting to have him on the show for a very long time. And we finally got him in front of the Roadcaster. So this really is just a Friends of the Show episode. And if you make it through the entire conversation at the end with Cody Halford and myself, you deserve an award. Thank y'all so much for being here. That's enough talking out of me. Please give it up for our guests today, Jeff, Joe, Richard, and Cody Halford from Abilene, Texas. And let's start the show.
James, Tim, what's his name? I wrote it down. Jeff.
Please welcome Jeffery Lord.
Oh, this is for the Jeffery Lord show?
Lord, really? I thought Jeffery Lord was kind of like a real guy.
How are you supposed to be a strong, thrilling, powerful warrior and lover with a name like this?
Hey, Mr. Turner.
What's going on, my dude?
Nothing. How you doing?
Oh, just enjoying this lovely Sunday. You know, not too hot, no rain. It's a perfect day. I can't complain.
Yeah. I meant to call you and say, this is the Lord, asking why you're not in church today.
That'd have been good. We'll just pretend like you don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it is nice. I went out and I took the dog for a walk earlier before it got too hot. And it's real nice outside.
Well, I was sitting down having breakfast when you texted me, man. I'm very flattered that you wanted me back on the show. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about your big thing coming up. So have you done...
Our big
It's going to be your 100th episode. Our big... Okay. But have you done 99 episodes as of whenever are you releasing one tomorrow, Monday?
Yeah, it's gonna work out to be congruent with the schedule. We've got Jack Daw tomorrow for the 99th episode. And then
nice.
episode 100 will be Tim Love, and that will be the Monday following our 100th episode party out there at Pouring Glory. So it's all going to work out.
Very, very cool. So it's going to be Saturday, September 10th. What time does it start? 1?
Starting at 1. Folks want to show up a little early, that's fine. Just don't expect the festivities to begin until 1 p.m. We got the vendor market that's going to be setting up, I believe, around 11 or 11:30 for loadout. And then, should get the ball rolling around 1 p.m. I believe the first band we're going to have up is Late to the Station. None of this was actually put in concrete, so we might move the itinerary around a little bit. But Late to the Station, and then Itchy Richie and the Burning Sensations, and then the Gray, I believe, is how we're going to do that. But I'm pretty positive that Kate Greathouse, our comedian, will definitely be closing us out. So.
Oh, cool. I think that's a good flow as far as for the 3 bands. Like what I was thinking about, I haven't quite got. All right, I was thinking about using those 3 bands. So after this interview, I'm going to play those 3 bands, and that's probably the exact order that I'll play them in. I'll play them in Late to the Station first. Then I was going to play Itchy Richie, and then I was going to play The Gray last. Yeah, I think it's cool. Whenever we first started, like I know the Jerry Johnson Massacre, they did a 1-year anniversary party where they had some bands play. We got a venue. It was shipping and receiving, which is closed now.
Right.
He had 4 or 5 bands that came out and played the show. We all just kind of hung out and watched music play or whatever. And then they had another one. I'm trying to think. I can't remember what we did, if we ever did anything. I know whenever we actually had one of the big ones, we just had we would do like a special episode, or I would always try to get maybe somebody like extra cool or one of my favorites back or something if it was like the 100th episode or whatever. Yeah. I don't think we did any parties. Our parties were always made it and I didn't mean to make it this way, but we ended up having. I wanted to have a party around my birthday, but I didn't want it to be a birthday party. But of course, it ends up being a birthday party. but it was called Hippie Bath Day, and we had I think 3 of them, and they were in March, and we always had bands play. We'd pick a venue, and we would pick the bands, and we would ask them to play, and so that was always fun. But we always did like little shows like where bands would play and stuff. I never really felt like, man, if I was like, hey everybody, come out and see the Funkytown podcast. I never felt like maybe more than 10 people would show up. But if I'm all like, hey, come out and see these bands and we're going to be there as well, then all of a sudden I get a bunch of people there because I have these really cool bands that are playing.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I try to involve as many people as possible because, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, if I did a Fort Worth Roots podcast party and it was me inviting everybody out to come have some chicken wings with me, I might get 5 or 6 people. so
no, I know how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is just, we've got people that are going to be showing up for the music, people that are showing up just for the free stuff that we're going to be giving away. There's going to be people that come out for the vendor market and our comedian. And then, the people that will just organically be there because they're part of the show. I wanted to make this not about Fort Worth Roots as much as making about community and kind of reinforcing our podcast fellow podcasters. So anyway, it's organically just with the people that are involved with this going to have 50 people just right out the door. So that's
right.
Cool.
It's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it, and it's family friendly.
Yep, it is.
I'll have the whole family out there because the wife will be out back selling her stuff. She'll probably have the daughter, and then me and my boy will probably running around. And I think I'm going to try to. My son's 9, so I'll have him with me. We'll be running around raising Cain, and I'm going to try to bring a recorder.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so maybe I can.
Everybody bring a camera.
Camera recorder because I want to see if I can interview some of the different podcasts. Maybe get little snippets from some of the different bands or whatever. I don't know. We just have it there. Just maybe I can get some random on the spot interviews and turn it into the next week's show or whatever. All right, man. Well, dude, it's been fun, and seriously, I'll be there. Because the wife she'll get there early because she has to set up for the vendor show. But we're definitely going to be there. She's excited about it. I'm excited about it. And I think it's going to be a good time. Like I said, the weather's good. We have good music, great food, lots of cool stuff to buy, lots of cool people to meet. So
right. And thank you so much for your support, man. I mean, Everybody has been great about this. All the podcasters that we got involved, but there's a few of these people like yourself that have just gone above and beyond to support this event, and I appreciate it so much. So thank you very much.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. Dude, I dig what you're doing. I really do. And so I want other people. It's like I said earlier. It's like there's some cool stuff going on. I want people to know about it so they can go have fun and do cool shit. This is one of those cool things that's going on that people will enjoy if they know about it. So I'm just trying to do my little part to help people know about it.
And so for your listeners, you don't have to actually spend a dime this Saturday, but your support just coming out and adding your body to the head count that we're going to be taking will not only help Fort Worth Roots possibly get another one of these events going sooner, it could also lead to all 11 of these podcasts getting sponsorship, because I gave everybody permission to use the images, the video, the pictures from this event for any kind of marketing ploy that they have in the future. So this is something that's going to help out the entire podcast community. So please come out, show your support. It's going to be a great time.
For sure. And if you do come up and say hi to me.
Oh yeah, autographs from Jeffery Lord.
Right. Yep. Autographs and pictures, $5.
There you go.
See, I'm already making money.
Good deal.
All right, man. Well, I will see you Saturday.
Okay, brother. If you need anything, holler at me.
I'll do it. Talk to you later.
See ya. Bye.
All right. Okay, bye.
Joe Guzman, world traveler, producer of the Psychedelic Panther Festival, joins us live here at the Fort Worth Roots studio. Joe, what's up, my man?
Good morning, my friend.
That's how a live production would start. So we went out this morning. We got breakfast at that place called Snooze off of 7th Street. I had the Eggs Benedict. I think I had the Benny Benedict.
Had a habanero flavored Eggs Benedict that blew my mind.
And they're both incredible.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, I was just telling Joe before we hit the record button that I like eating at local establishments for breakfast, but Snooze is incredible, and every once in a while I got to break my keep Fort Worth dollars in Fort Worth pockets rule, and because it's really damn good. But thanks for coming out, man. It's a little bit of a drive. You're over in kind of the far east side of Fort Worth.
Yeah,
Watauga.
No. Yeah, I'm by Watauga. Yeah. By Watauga for sure.
That's a good 25-minute drive, right?
Yeah. It's it was worth it though. It was worth every time spending in traffic, which wasn't that bad this morning. So
yeah, I would think not on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So you just got back from Hawaii. Which island were you on?
I was on the Big Island of Hawaii. It's officially called the Island of Hawaii.
Okay, so that's the main island.
Yes, that's the main island. That's the biggest one. The more trafficked one is, of course, Oahu. That's the one that everybody knows, and that's where Honolulu and Pearl Harbor is. But then the Big Island is just above that one, and it's obviously a lot bigger. It has, in my opinion, a lot more of the natural sights of that chain of islands. So yeah.
Some incredible pictures you were sharing with us. Did you stay on that island the entire time?
I did.
What's it like hopping between the islands? What's the protocol for that? What's the distance? How long does it take?
A lot of the hopping in between happens through private charters.
And this is water or air?
Air.
Okay.
Air, and it usually takes no more than 45 minutes from island to island.
Okay. So you're not taking a kayak?
Probably not, no. Although you could get there in a day's time from Maui to Big Island, you could probably sail out and arrive within ample time, reasonable time.
Yeah. When I think of the waters of Hawaii, I do think about sharks, though. There's probably quite a bit of shark activity in them waters.
I was snorkeling for every week while I was there.
Yeah.
And kind of had that mainland fear that I'd encounter a shark at some point. And no, not really. I mean, the sharks are known to inhabit the waters more further out from the coast.
Okay.
And if we're talking about anywhere in Hawaii where they would be prevalent, would be places like South Point, which is all the way down there at the bottom. They don't frequent the north side of the island as much. You have a hammerhead population that hangs out there, but most of your tiger sharks and most of your reef sharks and bull sharks are going to be on the south side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody's swimming around there.
Oh, you still have surfers and swimmers and everything, yeah.
Madmen. Crazy people.
No. See, like a shark, because I've seen sharks twice in the water. A shark is like any kind of predator that you see in the wild. It'll let you know it's there. Believe me, like, it's not used to eating humans. It probably doesn't like the way we taste. If it tried to eat us, it'll let you know it's there. It'll give you the eye, and then that's up to you then to get the hell out of its territory. So you want to circle around. You don't want to go through its territory because it already warned you. You know, like, now when it's a frenzy, you just got yourself in a pickle. You know what I mean? That's
You are the pickle.
Yeah, you are the pickle. I mean, but frenzies happen in deep ocean. They don't happen near the shore for whatever reason. That never happens near the shore. It's always deep ocean, where the schools of big fish are, right?
Yeah.
So,
Where the eating is good.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you were out there snorkeling once a week. How many weeks did you spend out there in the Big Island?
I spent 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
How hard was it to come back to Texas?
I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. It really was. I didn't want to leave. Not only did I leave a beautiful place, I also left a beautiful girl out there, and when she listens to this, she'll know that
Give her a shout out. What's her name?
I'm bragging about her. Yeah, it's Amanda.
Amanda. What's up, Amanda?
Amanda, all my love, Amanda. Yes.
We're thinking about you over here in Texas.
We are. And yeah, it was a magical time. Got to see a lot of turtles underwater.
Yeah.
Did get a lot of that. A lot of parrotfish. A lot of like the colorful stuff. The water's cold there, man. It's like 50 degrees. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
It'll give you a shock to your system. So
50 sounds pretty. Yeah, I don't know if I mean, I guess once you get in it, you're okay, right?
You climatize a little bit, but
God damn, that's cold.
it's cold. It's cold for water,
And you're wearing a suit, right?
I did the first few times, but then I started going suitless because I enjoyed the shock factor.
Damn.
Like it just grows on you.
Crazy people.
Yeah.
That's wild. Well, I'm glad you made it back. So, since I got the opportunity to talk to you today, we a little bit of chat on the social media about going forward and preparing for next year's Psychedelic Panther.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to do that earlier than later. I kind of, start putting my feelers out there, and I got a lot of good feedback. Already, a lot of my favorite artists said that they are jumping on board. New artists this time too, which is an exciting prospect to have some of the new artists from DFW come to join this festival. And among those new artists, there's some bands that we haven't heard of here around these parts, but they are stellar bands that the world needs to know about.
Okay.
And so
Where are they coming out of? Denton or?
we got some coming out of Denton. We have, see if we have any more Fort Worth. We have Dallas, and we have Fort Worth. In fact, we have Gorgeous Jetson, who signed on for this year. Primo Danger out of Fort Worth, who signed on for this year. We have, let's see, the Wee Beasties out of Denton.
Okay.
And they're a pretty big hit. Knocking on wood, right? That the nice ladies from Pearl Earl will join us this year. But one that I'm really excited about is Sky Window.
Okay. I haven't heard of them. Are they Fort Worth?
They are from Denton.
Okay. I'll have to check them out. Sky Window.
In my opinion, if we're talking about psychedelic influenced music and that genre of atmospheric psychedelia, these guys are it. They mix the atmospheric sounds and psychedelia with jazz music.
Nice.
And as a 5-piece, they're Sky Window.
I can't even picture that, but it's got to be incredible.
It's mind blowing. It's like saying bands like Explosions in the Sky or Sigur Rós, bands like that are truly big sounding and atmospheric and are going to take you for a ride. So Sky Window is our people that I've been following since I was, I don't know, let's just say I've been following them for about 7 years.
Yeah.
Since they were like a 3-piece before they evolved into a 5-piece. When they were a 3-piece, they also performed as a jazz unit at Pascal's Bar in Denton.
Okay.
And
multifaceted.
Oh yeah.
They could do anything.
Yeah, they were doing jazz and I was seeing them as a jazz band before I knew them as Sky Window.
Yeah.
And as a jazz band, they're the Mike Luzecki band.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And you haven't got them signed up. You're just hoping that they will.
Oh no, they signed up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, they signed up.
They'll be there.
They want an early slot, so be there early, y'all, next year.
So this year's Psychedelic Panther was a huge success by any metric.
Yeah.
Knocked it out of the park, man. What do you think you're kind of looking towards for changes in the format this year, or is it going to be pretty much the exact same?
I'm reaching out right now for feedback from those who attended and those who participated.
Yeah.
I'm going to make changes accordingly. Going to make sure that the overhead is provided for and that we have the right generators this time. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe get some sandbags involved to kind of secure the banner on the outside.
A stronger schedule of PVC.
Yes.
Is what I would suggest, because we used PVC this year to secure that banner, and it was
floppy.
It was floppy, yeah,
like a sail,
because it was it was pretty long pieces of PVC. So this year we just need a thicker schedule pipe, just something that's got a little more girth to it.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it actually it held up. It worked. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it was there, and it didn't go anywhere. So.
When the wind stopped blowing, and it worked for the pictures, and something I really appreciate when the fence wasn't being blown backwards.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to reach out earlier this year for vendors and artists. I want a greater variety of visual artists. I appreciate our artists from this year. I want there to be more visual artists next year, as opposed to the jewelry and the crafts, right? There was maybe 2 or 3 booths that sold jewelry and crafts, and not enough painters and not enough visual artists. And I really want to give the painters and visual artists this coming year a firm opportunity.
Texas A&M, I believe, has a agricultural department that will take your soil sample and tell you exactly what's in it, down to the nitrogen levels and whatever. So you can, but I just always thought it'd be a good idea to not mess with that. Do a raised bed and put some good soil in there, and then start from scratch. And then you can compost and kind of add value to your soil. And welcome to Fort Worth Roots, folks. We're talking home and gardening today. This is
home gardening, but also off-grid living, and also sustainability, right? I mean, I guess that's the whole point of it, right?
You need a lot of room, though. I mean, if you're going to build a garden that's going to actually feed a family of 4, you need some space. I couldn't do that here. I probably could not grow enough stuff in that yard attached to the studio that would sustain me individually. Now, whenever we were kids, we grew squash in our backyard. That shit will grow like a weed. That stuff grows fast. But I don't know if you can survive on squash.
Yeah, I mean, squash every day.
It's gonna get old quick, man.
Squash twice a week is already squash is good the first time, but I don't know about this time.
Yeah, we don't have enough bacon for all this squash. Yeah, and then it starts getting. I mean, at that point you're going vegan, right? Because you're not raising livestock in a backyard in Fort Worth. Yeah, you could try it. People are big on chickens. I've noticed that's there's a big uptick in the amount of chicken talk I see on my social media feeds.
Yeah,
people
chicken coops,
trying to do it up, get their eggs, and I guess after they stop producing eggs, then you get your meat, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how that works?
When I lived in Irving for a little bit, just a couple of instances in my life, and I remember both times I lived there, somebody had a chicken coop nearby, because you'd hear roosters and chickens cuckling around and everything. It's a thing.
There's little pockets around here you see stuff like that. I mean, hell, Main Street going into like the stockyards, just north of that, there are equestrian centers or whatever you call it, horse ranches. I don't know what it's called, but people have horses in stables just outside of Main Street. These are like residential areas, and consequently, you see horseback riders up and down Main Street and riding their horses. Yeah, riding their horses on the Trinity and stuff like that. So
yeah, there's still one of the cool things I guess about Texas is that there's still, like, in the background, there's still kind of that pull to live as though you're a rural person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which
even in the city.
Yeah, I mean, we're slowly being lost in new generations, but it's still, it's still there.
People love them horses.
Yeah, when I was in Kona. And South Point, it's a different part of the island. It's all windswept, and it has big tall grass, and it looks like some of the places you see in Texas. But the only difference is that at the end of it, there's a huge sea cliff that drops into the ocean. So think about Texas, but on a sea cliff.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, I would love a horse just to ride around here.
Yeah.
I don't think wherever I'm at, even if I end up in Hawaii or someplace like that, I would give the notion of having a horse. It's just such a cool concept. I remember when I was a little kid, we went on a group ride, and I almost stole a horse. Like, I was at 12, and I was on a jockey on its back, just taking off, and the group leader had to chase me through these woods. It was like a 20-mile ride. I was bucking it too,
You didn't know what you were doing, right?
Kind of. Yeah.
I mean, it's your first time on a horse?
That was like my second time on a horse.
Okay, second time on a horse, 12 years old. You didn't have much idea what you were doing.
I took to it pretty well, though.
I mean, you were probably at some pretty high risk, whether you realized it or not. One tree branch and no more Joe.
Yeah.
That's probably what that group leader, he was probably in a full panic thinking, here goes my job. That kid is dead.
Super fast. Like, he had a hard time catching me, 90 pounds soaking wet just flying down the woods,
I'm trying to imagine. I mean, Joe, you don't look like you weigh anything over 160 now, so probably at 12 years old, that horse is like, he's free. He's got nothing on his back. You were nothing to him.
Yeah.
Damn. It must have been a good horse, though. I mean, he took care of you anyway.
That's a good horse.
Yeah. He didn't try to get rid of you.
Yeah. I haven't ridden a lot of horses since then, but yeah, I think that any situation in the future probably would have a horse there in it. So,
yeah. I love that idea. As a kid, I think we all want horses when we were kids.
I think if you grew up around here, you probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a horse whenever I was really, really little, and I don't even remember the situation. Its name was Goldie, and I can just barely remember it. And that might be part of the fascination there. I know that I was sat up on its back a few times just to, oh, look, we got the kid on the horse. But, too young to ride it for sure.
Yeah.
I couldn't have pulled a 12-year-old Joe stunt and ran off with it into the sunset. But, yeah, man, I would also really, really, really like to do that one day. Have enough property where I could have a couple of horses. Yeah. I don't know what you do with them after that. But they probably eat a lot of food. So now you got to get a much bigger garden, and I don't know if they eat potatoes.
No, you would have to feed them. Yeah, I mean, ethically, you want to feed them grains, of course, any kind of grain, but yeah, it's just like having a pet. They have vet bills too sometimes, you got to take care of their teeth. You have to make sure that their feet are right, for their shoes, right?
Yeah, there's a whole...
that the horse's hoof is like a nail, right?
Yeah, it just keeps growing.
Trimmed at some point, you know what I mean? Or else it just starts to splay out.
A farrier. That's what they call those guys. You got to get a farrier to come out there, and he basically, like the the nail places you go, and they like shove your cuticles back up into your toenail bed.
Yeah.
You ever been to one of those? You ever done that?
No.
Don't do it. It's the dumbest, craziest thing. Like, people do this like voluntarily. I had a girl talk me into doing a pedicure one time, and it was one of the most terrifying things I've ever done. First of all, nobody touches my feet. Now I've got a stranger touching my feet, and they're using a stick, and they're shoving skin back up into my toenail bed. Does this sound like torture to you? Because it sounds like torture to me.
It's not nice.
No, it's not nice.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, this crazy person called a farrier goes out and does this to horses. They are literally cutting off the hoof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're digging into it, cleaning it out, but the videos I've seen of farriers doing this, it almost looks like the horse enjoys it. Like
it's
maybe it feels good to them. Yeah, to get all that dead shit off the bottom of their feet. So
yeah,
it sounds like a very expensive thing. I think I'll wait on my horse.
Yeah.
I can't afford that.
or learn how to do it yourself, and just kind of get all the gunk out yourself the best you can.
Yeah, I see me getting kicked in the head. That's what I see.
Yeah, yeah. I've been bucked by a horse as a kid, so
that's actually, you see these scars here? I got 1, 2, and there's a third one over here somewhere in all that hair. But I had pins, and these things were deep, dude. So when I came out of surgery, I just had this little piece of metal sticking out of my arm, here, and here. And I had no idea how far these things went down. Well, the day came where they had to pull these things out. And this is at an Army hospital. And I don't know if this is the exact way you're supposed to do this, but it's the way they did it to me. They just kind of put some numbing shit on my skin. And they took basically pliers, and they just wiggled it until it came out, right? I'm awake for this. I'm watching the guy do it. And I'm looking at this thing thinking, any second now, the pin is going to come out of my arm. And it just kept coming and coming and coming and coming. And I mean, it was like, in my imagination, and I didn't measure it at the time, but I remember it being like 4 or 5 inches long. And the guy was just back and forth wiggling this thing out of my bone. And I'm thinking about what he's doing. I'm watching him, and I can kind of feel the vibration up like deep inside my arm. And I mean, it was the most nauseating thing. And the guy was laughing because I'm sure like the color in my face was gone, and I just had this look of absolute despair.
What a sadist doctor, eh?
Yeah, I think this was like the nurse. I don't think this was the doctor. But anyway, it was a big dude with a beard, and I don't know.
This maniacally laughing as he was like torturing.
Yes. So anyway, the way I broke that wrist is I was riding a horse, very well intoxicated, and I decided that I was inside of a pen, like a horse pen, at a rodeo. And these are friends of mine from the Army, and they let me get on this horse. Well, I got bored on this horse. I decided I was going to John Wayne my way over to the next horse. So I hopped on to another horse as it was passing me, and that horse went, "No, sir, that's not the way we do things around here." And he immediately launched my ass off of his back. And by the way, these are the most well-behaved, best-trained horses in the world.
Yeah.
So for me to pull something like this that pissed off one of those horses,
you crossed the lines,
I did some dumb shit. And I deserved every bit of the broken bone I got. I broke both sides of it, but I fell down, and when I did, I put my hands out like you're not supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Like I was trying to catch myself with my hands, and I felt that thing snap. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of time on horseback, but the time I do have has not gone well. Anyway, don't drink Patron and ride. That should be a billboard.
Yeah, that's probably what did it too.
Actually, I think it was Jack. It was Jack.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels. Yeah. Don't do that. What's the message from the universe today, Joe?
The message from the universe is to follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams, everybody.
Which you've been pretty good at trying to chase that.
Yes.
And you're an encouragement to me, and I can't wait to watch you succeed more. And let me know however I can help with Psychedelic Panther or anything else you're getting into.
Absolutely.
And don't leave here until I take a picture. I've been really bad about forgetting that.
Okay. Yeah.
Next to Mr. Creepy there. That's his name, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, Joe, thanks for doing this, and let's do more often.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot more to talk about as we near the date, so I'll be back.
Awesome.
Why aren't we solving the world's problems?
We should be.
Well,
We've
they've got the
done
wrong
this
people.
before.
I know.
We've sat here.
This is clearly a solution.
Is this the third or fourth time you've recorded?
Third.
Okay.
Third.
You
No,
need to step it up, dude.
I know.
So I'm putting
Rookie
together.
numbers.
I'm going to put a schedule together, and it's going to be okay. Fort Worth Roots records every Saturday from, and I'm going to say like probably 9 to 3. That way, I'm getting a shit ton of recording done, or maybe I'm just doing one, but it doesn't totally wreck my weekend. I can still go see a show, or come see you dudes play, or whatever. So, but point of this is, I haven't had a schedule. It's just been like, get in where you fit in.
Oh, I remember. I know. Last time I was on, it was literally like, hey, can you come over tonight?
Yeah.
Like, I'm leaving now. See ya.
So, but most of the reason behind it is so that people can come and co-host. So I would love to have you on as a co-host.
Oh, that would be fun.
If you'd like to do it.
I would like to do that. I'm trying to build the Itchy empire.
Yeah. I see
Slowly
that.
but
You've
surely.
been busy, dude.
I have been.
Your new album is already released, or it's about to release?
Came out in May.
Okay.
Continuous Vaudeville. You interviewed Joe Tacky about it, who was the engineer, and he doesn't want production credit, but
our Cloudland brother.
Yes.
Yep. And I just keep running into people that know all about Itchy. And I went to see a T-shirt man, and
I know
he was like, "Yo, I just talked to Itchy Richie, and he says that I need to definitely be networking with you."
Yeah, I did tell him that because, and it's kind of a funny story. I brought it up because I was like, "Hey, man, thanks," because it was a quick turnaround. I gave him the shirts like last Thursday and picked him up. Was that yesterday?
Did he tell you that I'd already contacted him and tried to?
Well, that's what it came up. I was like, so it's this 100th episode celebration for Fort Worth Roots. It's this guy, Andrew Turner. He goes, Andrew Turner. He goes, why does that name sound familiar? I was like,
he was supposed to do my T-shirts.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I couldn't get a hold of him.
Well, and that's what he said. He admitted to it, which was very cool of him. He was just like, oh, fuck, I dropped the ball. I should have got back with that guy. I was like, yeah, you should have, because there's easily going to be, if it's a complete disaster, there will be 100 people there. Right. Yeah. And that's if it's a complete disaster, which it will not be.
Well, I was just talking to somebody about this. Maybe it was last night with JJTM. Is that right? Jerry Jonestown Husker. Yeah. But there's going to be, organically, just with the people that we got that are involved with it, there's going to be over 50 people there.
Exactly.
Just that. So if me going around town and putting flyers at every coffee shop and breakfast place that would let me, if advertising my ass off on Facebook and talking to all these different people and cross-promoting with different organizations, if that adds up to anything, there should be at least 51 people there.
Right. You know. Right. Well, here's how I've been pitching it to people, because this is audio. No one can hear this, or no one can see this, rather. People can hear it eventually.
Hopefully.
One would think.
I guess I can stop with the hand signals. I've been signing the whole time while we were sitting here.
Well, that's for our American Sign Language audience that you're not videoing for right now, which frankly makes you a dick.
Did you know that sign language is different in other countries and languages?
I did, only because American is before sign language. That's the only reason I knew that.
I get that now, but I'm such an American that I just thought the Americans came up with sign language, and that's why it's American sign language.
Well, I know the middle finger's pretty ubiquitous. I think everyone's kind of on the same page with the middle finger.
That's universal.
Except for the British, because they do this, but they have historical context. I'm holding up the two fingers, the two up yours fingers for the people that can't see.
Prostate check?
No, so it was for when they were fighting the French, and I could be getting my history wrong, but what the French would do is they'd capture their archers and cut off these two fingers.
Oh, shit.
So they wouldn't be able to pull back the bows.
Which is actually kind of humane, right? Because you're keeping them alive.
You're not killing them, and you're taking your enemy out. Like, it's kind of leave it to the French to not kill their enemies. Sorry, any French people listening. But so that's what they do, is when they would march up on somewhere, they would do this to say, we have our fingers, motherfucker. We're about to kill you.
Damn.
So that's why if you see British people going, oi! That's what that is.
Dang. Okay. Good to know. I derailed you. What were you going to say?
This is how I've been pitching this to people, because you see my social media. I'm always like, hey, come to my show. Yeah. Hey, it's $10 to get into my show.
That's why you want as many musicians promoting, because you guys are good at it.
Well, it's because we're used to people telling us why they can't show up for things. Oh man, I'm sorry. I fell asleep at like 8 o'clock. I'm like, I bet you posted at 10 that you got DoorDash. But whatever. But on the flyer, it says free event. That's what I'm telling people. I was like, guys, you get 3 bands and a comedian for free.
Yeah. What else do you need to know?
If you're going to see Kate Greathouse at Hyenas, you're paying
$20.
Yeah, it's like a $20 cover and a 2-drink minimum.
Got to have those 2 drinks. Yeah.
Here, there's no drink minimum. They're running $3 beer specials. Like, I'm telling everyone, like, if there was ever an excuse that you had, we've removed 98% of them.
Yeah.
So barring, death in the family, kid shitting himself.
Yeah.
And even then, bring the kid there. We'll have a hose.
We'll hose him down. Little
It's
shitty
fine.
britches.
Yeah. And we'll even call him Little Shitty Britches to shame him for shitting himself.
Until he's 50. Yeah.
Yeah. And then on his gravestone, after he, inevitably dies,
Our beloved little shitty pants.
Little Shitty Britches lies here. But no, that's what I've been telling people. I'm like, look, dude, this is going to be cool. Because I've been listening to a little bit of Late to the Station.
They're so incredible, and
They're
they
really
gig
fucking good.
everywhere.
Yeah, they
so
do.
it's easy, and I feel bad because I haven't made it out. I did catch one of their shows. I have not caught one of yours, and I've been
No,
to
you
about
haven't.
3 of theirs because they're always gigging.
Well, and it's easier. You're going from, you're talking about 2 full piece, like, because the Gray's a 5-piece, right? Mm-hmm. We're a 4-piece.
And it's
It's
the 2 of
harder.
them.
It's harder for us to get a show
Oh, yeah.
because not everyone wants a fucking drummer to show up
right.
and beat on stuff and be loud.
Well, Paul plays 3 damn instruments at the same time.
all right,
and then
Paul, just rub it in our face how talented you are.
Carrie, she can play the harmonica, the flute, the kazoo, a violin, and an acoustic guitar at the same time. I've seen her do it. It's incredible. Okay, not at the same time.
That was like 8 different things, dude. She's not. She's not.
What's the lady?
Vishnu.
Yeah, is that the one? The Buddhist god with the...
Yeah, the Hindu guy.
All
I
the
think it's
arms?
Vishnu that has all the arms. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, they're gigging all over the place.
No, and the stuff that Jeff Lord played on the other night.
I was so
Texas
glad he
Woman.
did that.
That was awesome.
Yours and theirs, and did he have something by the Gray?
He did, and it was
Okay.
really good.
Businesses that have thrown some fun things in the grab bag and stickers and whatnot.
I wanted to talk to you about that a little bit.
What's that?
The Delta 8 samples.
That's happening.
I know.
I just got done texting back and forth with Thrive Apothecary.
So
it's not going in the grab bag.
I know. I get it, but I'm just saying, like, should you get some for the bands? I'm asking purely.
I will make sure that the bands have free access to the Delta 8
I'm
that will be provided.
98% sure the bands will probably just be like, we already got our own.
Yeah. Delta 8?
kidding.
What is that? Kick the training wheels off and come on over here. Yeah.
Is that the diet stuff? Is that 0 sugar?
Cannabis 0. Yeah.
I mean,
That would be the diet version, I think.
well, they do have one because they have, all of the different. You and Jeff talked about this, how they have all the different, like, THC.
I don't know anything about it.
So I asked about it because I was like, why the fuck do we have... Because to me, it's just like, at this point, can we just legalize it so we're not playing all these stupid games?
The mystery is gone. I know exactly what it is, and I think everybody else does too. We're just waiting for Big Pharma and the government to figure out how they're going to make a fortune off of this, and then they'll turn the tap on. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
It's exactly
Public
what it is.
consensus is up. All of our legislators are on board. I mean, it's time.
There's still some old holdouts, but they're in the minority now.
Vastly,
Yeah, like, because one of the biggest things was like 5-6 years ago, it was like a Republican senator, Texas senator, for the Texas Senate. He proposed a bill to legalize in Texas, and his whole thing was like, look, yeah, I'm a conservative, but based on being a conservative and based on my Christian values, God put this plant here. We should be able to use it and make money off of it, and it's not really hurting anybody.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like,
that's the
why
right
wouldn't
argument
we?
too, because you're not leaning into, well, it's a medicine and it's going to help people. I mean, you can argue that shit all day.
And,
but
it does. There's plenty of evidence to support that. However, let's
you
be
can argue
honest.
it. You can argue it.
Yeah, let's be honest.
There's
'cause-
physicians that will go back and forth and say yes and no, and some people say it helps with inflammation. Some people say no, it's a placebo effect. It doesn't matter.
And there's plenty of people that are literally just like, I like getting high.
Yeah.
Which is you know what? That's fine.
And
Because
the
guess what? I
absolute
like getting
only
drunk.
argument that I have that I think is even relevant. You can talk about all that other stuff until you're blue in the face. But whenever I can go into a bar and I can drink myself into oblivion. Sure, there's laws against it or whatever, but it's an option. I can do it. And, there's people out there ruining their bodies, ruining their lives, their careers, and they're all doing it with the powerful elixir that you can get on every street corner. I mean, it's a drug in every sense of the way, and it's destructive as shit. So if that's going to be legal, why can't people take something that is,
habit forming?
Well, it might be habit forming. But
It's psychological. It's not a
chemically addictive
Yeah,
product.
exactly. Yeah.
So, and where alcohol is, and pick up a book, man. Alcoholism is a progressive disease. It gets worse and worse and worse. And with the marijuana, it's just, or the pots. I felt silly when I said that.
Pots.
It's not like that. And so if I can take a little bit of THC and I can put it in a seltzer water and I can have somebody drink that instead of a beer or hard liquor or whatever, and it takes the edge off for them, we're done here. There's no reason to argue about this anymore.
And I got a little anecdotal evidence.
Okay.
Having hung out with drunks and stoners, both in my day. As a musician, you run across both. I have not once seen a violent fist fight erupt between stoners. The worst that has happened, the worst that I've seen happen is that, oh, man, someone ate all the chips. And then someone else goes, sorry, bro. And then they go, who can drive to the store? Like, that's it.
Nobody.
End of it. Yeah, no one. But now we have DoorDash.
Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere.
That's, it's because my argument, like, the blue laws in Texas, I think, are ridiculous.
What are those?
They're called the blue laws because, I don't know why they're called the blue laws, but they're about alcohol. You know how you can't buy beer afternoon on Sundays and can't buy liquor at all?
Yeah.
I've always been like, that's ridiculous.
That is weird. Yeah.
In this day and age, so here's what you're telling me. I run out of whiskey on Saturday, right? Common story. Saturday night, you didn't prepare, and it's, Cowboys are on at 3 the next day. Mm-hmm. So you finished your whiskey, and you're just like, fuck. Man, I really want to watch the game, but I want to drink.
Yeah.
I don't want to drink beer. I want to drink whiskey. I'm really in the mood for some Wellers. So you go to your local watering hole, and then you get fucking tanked. And then you try to limp your stupid ass back home.
Yeah.
When, if it was legal just to buy whiskey on a Sunday, I would just go to Total Wine. Shout out Total Wine, waiting for that endorsement. Buy my whiskey, go home, and,
responsibly drink myself to death at the house.
And what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm probably just going to pass out on the couch and shit myself.
Yeah, or a nasty acid stain on the new Berber carpet.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, that's my problem. I'm not disturbing the public with it.
Not a public problem. Yeah,
I'm not running into a telephone pole. I'm just making an ass of myself.
Yeah,
I've never understood that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
We do have a lot of stupid ass laws that don't make sense. And
that we do. We talk about that. I think we talked about it last time I was on about the dildos in Dallas. Also, I think I talked about that.
You just had to, didn't you? You just had to bring
I've always got dildos in Dallas on the mind.
I think it came up recently at the Jerry Jonestown Massacre. The first time I was out there, they were talking about how it's illegal to. I think Tim brought it up from the Funky Panther.
I thought that was on Funky Panther.
Oh, maybe
I heard it.
Oh,
I remember y'all talking about it.
It was Tim, though. I knew it was Tim. Tim's obsessed with this little tidbit of information.
Him and I are going to get along great. We're going to be ones to overturn the archaic dildo laws of Texas.
Is it that important to you? So
got to have a cause, man.
And what I told Tim is I was like, we need to get behind the THC, marijuana, the pots. We need to get behind that movement before we start worrying about adult massaging devices.
That's only because you have money invested in that. That's maybe right. All my money's parked in dildos, okay?
Okay. The adult entertainment industry.
I wonder if you could buy stock in dildos.
I bet you could. There's probably a weird way to... I hate that we're talking about this.
Funny, because I love it. Even though I can hear your listenership going,
yeah, all right, we're done with this one.
This guy.
Itchy's back.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Does anybody else call you Itchy, or is that just me?
A lot of people do.
I just call you Itchy.
I'm fine with that.
I don't even think of you as Richard.
That's good, because I think Itchy Richie was me trying to avoid being Richard.
You don't want to be a dick.
I can't help it sometimes.
Well, I'd ask you for big shows that are coming up, but
I do have
this thing's going to be probably 6 weeks down the road when we release it. Do you have
That's
anything?
true. I do
later
have
in the
one.
year?
Not booked yet.
Okay. Well, let me know.
We do. I'll let you know.
I'll blast it out.
We did get on a show of a national touring band September 25th at Ridgely Theater.
Nice. Who's the touring band?
Artifice.
Okay.
I think. I don't know how you.
I don't know them,
say
but
it.
that's familiar.
They're kind of.
It's big enough that I've heard the name.
They're like alt metal. They're
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It was funny how I got the show too. So Facebook. I follow promoters of all ilks.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this dude Brian Idell. I forget the name of his company, but I know him tangentially because Randy, my friend Randy, does shows with him.
Yeah.
Because he's in a metal band.
Okay.
So I follow him, and he put out a post one day. He's like, "Hey, we need an opener for this metal band coming through on, I forget what day, it was sometime this month." So, kind of being a smart ass, I just emailed him. I was like, "Hey, I think we'd be down." He's like, "All right, send me your stuff." Send him continuous vaudeville.
Oh, shit.
And he goes, "You were not even close to heavy enough for this show." And I knew that going in, but I was like, all right, so I
shoot your shot.
It was, but it was also kind of like, it's nice to get in front of people sometimes.
Right. You got to.
So I went, all right, cool. I was like, I didn't expect this to be, but you never know. And he goes, but I have this other show coming through that you'd be good for.
Oh, nice.
See if you're open for that. And I was like, yeah. So I was like, sweet, scored a gig, just being a dumbass.
Nice.
Yes. So yeah, I'm excited about that show because it's, it's Ridgely Theater. That's home place of the Toadies. That's sacred ground. I've played there once in my life, so it'd be nice to play there again.
Well, you guys are, I feel like you're picking up steam, man. Y'all are doing cool stuff. Your video that you sent me is excellent. I like your little video. The line.
Oh, yeah. That was
cool.
From the record release show, yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to have time to slap it all together. I was looking at the videos that everybody sent me, and Late to the Station sent me some pictures, and the video didn't load up correctly, and then the Gray sent me a video, but I couldn't access it, so it's like, man, I think I'm too far in the planning process to try to chase these videos down, so we might not do that, but I'll probably end up doing it as a check out what we did. I'll make a video for it.
I was about to say, there's going to be videos, because we video all our shows, so at the very least you might have footage from us.
Yeah.
And
I've got video that I've taken of the Gray and Late to the Station, so I could use that too.
But not us.
Again,
Jesus.
I know, but you guys need to play. So, play at Gemelli. I'll come check you.
Play it where?
Gemelli. It's right down the street. It's one of Tim
so
Love's
that's how
places.
so that's how I get you to come out to play.
No, but the thing is, it's so close, and that's how I caught the last show with Late to the Station,
okay.
and then the Gray was at Mass. That's one of my regular stomping grounds.
We played Mass. You weren't there.
When
I
did you
invited
play Mass?
January with Big Heaven and Professor Fuzz.
I'm
It was
just a dick.
Outstanding show.
We don't have a camera going right now, but my head is just sinking into my chest.
As it should, because you missed Big Heaven with the debut of them having a backup vocalist.
Well, here's how I'm going to make it up to you, and I've spent some time thinking about this.
Okay.
I'm going to invite you out to play for the 100th episode party.
Oh, that'd be nice.
At the Fort Worth.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. Okay, that
and
might make up for it.
I promise you, I'm going to see this one.
Okay, good. You fucking better. I know what's going to happen. We're going to get 2 songs deep, and someone's going to start talking to you, and you're going to walk off, and I'm just going to, the rest of the songs, I'm just going to be talking shit about you. I'm going to change all the lyrics.
Everybody's going to turn and look at me like, is he hearing this? And I'm going to look up and be like, what the fuck is going on? And then I'm going to look at you, and your face is going to be red, and you're going to be like screaming. Yeah, it's going to be good.
I'll finally get to match the metal shirts that I just made.
Which are very original, by the way.
I'm so excited. So, the bassist in my band, Jeff Zero, did those designs because we've been talking so the idea behind Itchy Richie Burning Sensations, you've seen the logo that's on the sticker. That's a ripoff of the Hot Wheels logo.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Which you will get sued for later.
Yeah. Well, no such thing as bad press. Come for me, Mattel. I'm right here. Can't get blood from a turnip. In my head, because we do so many different kinds of music, I like playing with logos and just doing different shit. Yeah. And I always wanted a death metal logo because I was like, it's so stupid, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so if you'll look on the shirt, it's actually Itchy Richie is a mirror image. You can...
Oh, okay.
You could put a mirror down the middle and it'll say Itchy Richie on the side.
Nice. I see what you did there. And
Jeff did that. Yeah.
I was told it glows in the dark.
It does glow in the dark.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I didn't dick around with this. If I'm going to do a run of shirts, and what's funny is, like, I made like 25 or 26. Not a lot. It's a short run, and my whole intention is, like, I just want to... This is a limited run. They're all different colored shirts, and I'm just like, once I sell out, maybe I'll make more. I don't know. We'll see. I sold one, like, as soon as I got home.
Nice.
I was texting with someone. I was like, oh, look what I just got. And they're like, give me one. I'm like, cool. Showing my cousin in Arizona, and he's like, I want 3. I was like, oh, shit. I go, okay, I'm going to have to slow my roll now. Yeah. Or I'm not going to have shit at the show.
Well, I think that's another way that we're going to start funding the Fort Worth Roots podcast is selling some shirts at these events. But the ones that we got now are event shirts, and I will not have one left at the end of this because they will mean nothing after the event.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, I think we're going to make some really dope shirts and high quality, and then try to charge $100 a shirt.
So my shirts are going on sale because Kanye licked them, so it's $500 per shirt.
Damn.
I took him by, and he licked every single one, all 25.
His poor tongue, you know?
You say that, but...
He's licked so much worse, I'm sure. You know?
Names come to mind. But yes, yeah. No, so that's because it's anointed with the saliva of Kanye West.
Yeah.
I think everyone should buy one for $500.
Who's the guy that Javier's always, because he met him, was it Kanye?
I want to say.
Or was it Jay-Z? I can't remember.
It was Jay-Z, I think.
I can't
Jay-Z's, no offense to Kanye, but I'd brag more about Jay-Z than I would Kanye.
You'd like to have a little more of that spit?
Well, yeah.
This is getting weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was a little impromptu. We both got shit to do. Thanks for doing a little recording.
Of course, man. Of course.
And I'm serious about the co-hosting thing. I'll set up a schedule and
let me know, and I'll come do it when I can.
I'll book out the people that want to be on the show, and then you can look at the schedule and be like, yeah, I'd like to sit in on that one. That would be awesome.
I'd love to. It'd be great.
Cool. All right. Well, when people listen to this, the event has already ended, so they already know that it was a huge success. The fire department only got called out 6 times.
One of them was for me to put my pants back on.
And I hope, God rest his soul, Little Shitty Britches didn't make it, but...
Rest in peace, Little Shitty Britches.
We'll have an excellent tombstone drawn up for him. All right, that's enough. All right. We'll see y'all next week, or however I'm doing this in the future. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye. Cody Alford from Abilene, Texas, ladies and gentlemen. We got the asshole here in the Fort Worth Roots studio today, joining us at the top of the hour. Mr. Mixed martial arts expert, professional MMA fighter, all-around badass, and now a alternator install technician. Congratulations on a very successful installation today with the Toyota Camry.
I thought you were going to take all the credit.
I am going to take all the credit, so just make sure you know that when you're talking about that alternator job, you do the same. You make sure I get all the credit.
I did most of the work.
You did a fair amount.
All the troubleshooting.
You did a fair amount.
All the fixing.
Move that microphone a little closer to your face. This is going to be a fun episode because I don't mind talking shit to you. I'm usually a lot nicer to my guests, but today is pretty much just going to be a roast, and I think that's what you were afraid of, and that's why you've been ducking me for 2.5 years. Cody Halford from Abilene, Texas.
I've been ducking you.
You've been ducking me. We were going to do this New Year's 2021.
Yeah.
We missed that one. Before that, we were going to do a recording at your house on Shady Brook, if anybody's looking for Cody.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that didn't happen. There's been a couple other opportunities, and every single time you found a way to wiggle your way out of it, but today I nailed you down.
Actually, I brought it up.
You
twice.
did bring it up.
Yeah.
So good for you.
I pressed it.
You did press it. Mm-hmm. So, came down to corner a dude that practices out of your gym there in Abilene at Premier Martial Arts.
Yeah.
What's Andrew's last name?
Andrew Curran. He's one of our amateur fighters. He's been with us for, probably 8 years now or more.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Move that microphone a little closer to your mouth.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like you're whispering at me.
Okay.
A little better. Okay. And you're on 2, so I'm going to make you a little quieter, make you talk louder.
Oh, all right. Thanks. Anyways, he was trying out for a new kickboxing association. Anyways, he's an amateur fighter, and he's looking at turning pro, and this new organization is like old school, all waist up kickboxing. It's not like
Which I've never seen. That sounds crazy to me. Like, no takedowns, no kicks below the waist. Like, that's a lot of MMA is shots to the legs, right?
Oh yeah.
So you take out half of a fighter's technique if he's a well-rounded martial artist, right?
Well, it's just that that's all there was for a long time before Muay Thai became popular in the States and part of MMA, and MMA being part of.
Do you think that's because leg kicks hurt so much? Like, that sucks so bad that people were like, we're just not even going to do that.
It's just a different style.
It
The thing is, Taekwondo and karate were the main striking martial arts that were brought over here and practiced for the most part. So it's just old school kickboxing, and they're wanting to bring it back and have a different association. So,
do you remember the name of the association that set this one up?
I'm so terrible with remembering these acronyms.
It's okay. You can have your phone out. Has it got any battery in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm having trouble remembering.
Pull it up. We trim out the dead shit.
Do you?
Well, for the finished product.
I haven't noticed that.
I've noticed
there's plenty of dead space.
Sometimes I leave some of it in there. Just because it's fitting for the episode. Maybe I want you to sound like a moron, so I'll just leave in these long pauses where your brain idly rolls around trying to process data.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I need to get my soundboard ready so I can make fun of you with some help. I think everybody would enjoy it if I just spent the entire hour making fun of you. Yeah, we'd all enjoy that. If we all just laughing at you repeatedly. Still, do you hear the very attractive woman in the back laughing at you? Did you hear her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
And as we wait for Cody to pull his shit together. You seriously cannot find it still?
Yeah, I mean, I don't pay that much attention to this stuff. I was just there for him. I was filling in for James. James Cox is the owner of the gym that we train at. And he's a
Premier
Martial Arts in Abilene, Texas, and he's a former national kickboxing champion. I think probably 2-time or something like that.
So he's no stranger to the above the waist only format.
Yeah, that used to be the only thing around, and it was the most popular thing for a while that anybody that did karate competed in. So
about 6 months ago, James started up his own podcast, right?
I think it's actually been longer now, but
Has he still got it going?
Oh yeah.
Now he's got a lot of help with his, right? He's got somebody that runs the whole thing and does the editing. And
yes, he has a person that does that for him. But I'm having trouble finding it.
Okay.
I don't like the pressure of it.
That's all right.
Having to hurry up and do it.
It's okay. So, some random organization that just started up. We will leave nameless.
Yeah, we'll leave it nameless. Anyways.
So he competed. He said he did pretty good. He won his first match. Almost won his second match, which sounds like he was far outside of his weight class for the second one.
Yeah, he had to go against some people that were out of his weight class. But anyways, he's supposed to move on to the next round and compete in a show.
And that's based on his performance. Like, they invited him back based on how well he did.
Yeah, they liked his technique. And the thing is, there's a lot of, like, famous martial artists in the room, you know, that judged it. Anyways,
how old is Andrew now?
He's, I think he's around 35, 34.
That's kind of late in the game to be starting pro, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, he's been training a long time. He just hasn't gone pro yet.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, most people that do fighting, it's a hobby on the side.
Yeah.
Usually, it's not really a job. I've gotten paid to fight, but I'm no I guess you could call me a professional MMA fighter at one time because I haven't fought in 6 years, but even then it wasn't my main occupation. And people aren't making a living off of it until you see them on TV, possibly.
Yeah, and even then they're not making much.
Yeah, and even then a lot of those guys have regular side jobs or are their main job, or they own a gym and that's their main, income that comes in monthly.
Yeah. I don't know if it's still as popular as it was. I feel like whenever you were doing it 5-6 years ago, everybody from every small town in Texas was practicing at a gym. They all wanted to be Chuck Liddell. Like.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a boom in the beginning.
Do you feel like it has kind of slowed down a little bit, like the popularity of it?
No, I think just the frame of reference has grown bigger. So now that it's mainstream and you start comparing it, and it's not just the boom of it like getting big, I think it's just as big or bigger, and maybe even it's becoming normal.
Yeah.
It's just part of the culture now. Everybody like, MMA's just a thing. It's another sport.
Yeah.
I think it's just as big or bigger. I think maybe it had more buzz around it before.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know.
Feels accurate. So
less taboo.
And nowadays you're training other people is what you're doing mostly, right?
Yeah, I mostly just practice and train now, and I get ready to compete in jiu-jitsu because I decided it was best for me to quit taking I guess trauma to the brain.
Yeah.
So I haven't been doing near as much striking in the last few years, and part of that was just having a family and kids and just trying to take care of myself. And I'm getting older.
I will tell you that
for the sport.
At the end of it, whenever you were getting ready for that last fight, we were all worried about you because you were showing some cognitive issues. I mean, I'm not kidding.
Who are these people? How many people?
Everybody.
How many?
I took a poll. I walked around Abilene for days just taking a poll, and everybody was like, "Yeah, he needs to stop."
Listen, Andrew thinks that his opinion
Go ahead.
is representative of everything and everyone. Like it's
100%.
like his whole universe is built around his opinion, like the reality of the world.
Yeah, Cody and I have, I'm not going to say been friends, but we've known each other since I was probably 13 years old.
Yeah.
How old are you in middle school?
Oh Lord, are we gonna go into the story?
People
of
need
us
to know who
meeting?
the hell Cody Hawford is, besides a very accomplished professional MMA fighter and an alternator installer. We'll get into that later too.
So
but
neither one of those things are very true at all.
they're true enough. So Cody Hawford in Abilene, Texas. Andrew moves to Abilene for, what was that, 8th grade or 7th?
But hold on, everybody needs to know this is just his version of reality, which you should take with a grain of salt.
What grade was that though? Was that 6th or 7th? I think it was 7th. Might have been. No, it was 8th grade, wasn't it? Because we went from there straight to Abilene High after that.
Yeah, I think it probably was 8th grade.
So 8th grade, Man Middle School, for those of you that know where the hell that place is. If you do, I'm sorry that your life was so bad.
It's the not greatest part of a medium-sized town in Texas.
Yeah, to anybody in the Fort Worth area, Abilene is a small town.
Yeah.
But to us in West Texas, Abilene was the hub.
It's a decent size. I mean, it's over 100,000 people, and when 120 or something like that.
It's 120, and it hasn't grown by one person in 30 years.
It fluctuates. It just kind of hangs out there. I don't know. It seems like we keep building and growing, but the population doesn't. It's very odd.
Yeah.
But that's a lot compared to all the towns in like 100-mile radius for the most part.
So Andrew had just moved to Abilene, Texas. He didn't have a friend in the world. He was wearing a white T-shirt that day, and that's important in just a moment. And I'm standing in lunch line behind this guy, and just, outside of my element. New kid, first day of school, new town.
Poor kid.
And Cody Halford from Abilene, Texas, turns around and dumps a 5-gallon bucket
Hold
of
on.
Kool-Aid down my shirt, red Kool-Aid, and he starts laughing maniacally. And all the other kids joined in and started cheering him on as he now is standing on top of me with his boot on my throat, and just everybody's just applauding him for this act of cruelty, and then he disappeared like a cutscene or like somebody dropped a fog bomb or something, like a magician. Poof, just disappeared. And that's how I met Cody Halford. Okay, now you tell your version of it.
That's the most ridiculous version
So what really
that
happened?
I've ever heard you tell.
That's the best version. Anyway, tell your less awesome version.
I'll tell the accurate version. So when you get lunch, you have a tray, and it has a plate with food on it, and there's a
People
cup.
understand how lunch lines
There's
work.
a cup full of Kool-Aid on his, apparently, and he was, probably following too close. I would blame him a little bit for this. And
Sure you would.
anyways, I
Sure
go to
you would.
turn or change directions, and I bump into his tray that he's holding, and it has a cup on it, and it spills either a pink or red Kool-Aid all over his white shirt. And he's no, listen. So it knocks over on him, and my mouth drops open, and I freeze, and I say, I didn't know what to do at that moment, and I say, sorry.
Question mark.
No, like I don't.
with a hardcore.
I don't know what to do here.
With a hard
I
shoulder
don't know how to
roll.
fix this. I didn't know how to fix it. There's like no way for me to
You
fix
just
it.
did a shrug. You went sorry,
No.
and you pulled your shoulders
It
up.
wasn't dismissive. It was more like I don't know what to do here.
And I was mortified.
I've done
It's
yeah.
my first
I know.
day at this new school, and I had to wear red Kool-Aid on my white shirt for the rest of the day, and that was halfway through the day. So I met new people wearing that shit, and it was your fault. And then we didn't talk for months.
Yeah.
Right.
He secretly hated me from then on.
Yeah.
And he still
100%.
does. And this whole friendship has been a facade just for him
Just to punish you.
waiting, punishing me with
every
his
turn.
friendship. And man, has it been bad. Anyways.
And then just best buds after that. And then you didn't even realize that I was that kid until we'd been hanging out for a while. And then
Is that right?
Yeah, and then I brought it up because we had a mutual friend that we started hanging out through. And
Cole Underwood.
Yeah,
Cole, yeah.
who's either a
Shout out.
either a sheriff or a police officer now. Do you know that?
No. Well, yes. I knew he was a police officer. I just didn't know what.
And not in Abilene. He had the good sense to get out of that place.
Oh,
Yeah. So
he's always making shots at me about being in Abilene.
it's the pretense that I've been setting up for years now
swear.
to get you on the show. Is I've been talking shit about Cody Halford from Abilene, Texas.
And kind of have roots dug in there. It's difficult.
So on to the alternator.
No. I want to go back to where we were first became friends. So.
Was there a story there?
No.
Is there more of a story?
Not really.
We just started hanging out because there were only so many kids in Abilene.
Actually, he moved away for a little while after
That's
that.
one way to put it.
And then he came back, and then that's when we started seeing each other and hanging out because of a mutual friend. But it was just funny, the dynamic of our friendship then. You didn't like me that much. You thought I was an asshole.
You were.
Yeah, you thought I was a
are.
complete jerk.
Actually, you might be part of the reason that I'm such an asshole. Like,
is that possible?
I mean, who else did I get it from?
Oh, let's not get into that. Anyways, no.
Raised by wolves.
I just want to bring up another memory. So the next thing I remember of me and you hanging out was you riding in my Blazer with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And there's this
What street is that?
Yeah,
For
it's,
anybody in Abilene.
Not Janice, but Vogel.
Yeah.
Vogel downward.
And they have fixed this, but it took them 2 decades to fix it.
Oh, no, it's still terrible.
But it's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, it's where this... Anyways, it's a double valley gutter, so each side of it is... So you hit a big bump if
Twice.
if you cross
Twice
it
you're
going
gonna
too
hit it,
fast.
yeah.
Anyways, I hit it going about as fast as you could. And we bounced, like, where we got air.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all four wheels.
Some of us got more air than others.
Yeah. And Andrew, I think, may have broken his neck on the ceiling.
I died that day. This is all just a terrible, terrible nightmare that I'm having in purgatory.
Yeah.
But yeah, I broke my neck.
I thought
that
it was
day.
hilarious.
I mean, like, my shoulders hit the top of your roof. My neck went into my body or folded down at 90 degrees because my shoulders hit the top of your fucking car.
Anyways, between me spilling Kool-Aid on him and breaking his neck, because I was like a year older than most people in my grade.
That's why you were so cool. You're the only one with a car.
I was the only one with a car. So that was when I was a freshman. I had,
rich kid too.
Yeah. Or actually, I wasn't a freshman.
That or a sophomore.
Yeah, I was right at Yeah.
Now we were in the same grade though,
Mhm.
so you were just the creepy older dude.
Yeah.
Be cooler if you did.
Mm-hmm. But that's how our friendship started, in my opinion. Me spilling things on you and then breaking your neck.
So we were talking about a memory of that vehicle, your Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't get it started one day. And
Blazer.
The
Blazer.
The neighbor, my parents' neighbor, was a mechanic. He had an old El Camino that he was always working on in his driveway. So we thought we'd go talk to this guy and see if he could give us some pointers. And he gave us some starter fluid and told us to spray it inside the carburetor.
Yeah.
And so
what looks like a carburetor on a
and it was
fuel injected.
And I think that we had actually, we were trying to be smart about this, and we thought, well, this is going to create fire. So we had a 5-gallon bucket nearby full of water.
That wasn't my idea. I think that was his idea.
That might have been my idea. That sounds like a me thing.
Yeah.
So
we should be prepared for the worst.
Yeah. So sure enough, it catches on fire, which is funny because it was
wires
it's called a blazer.
A
right?
blazer.
And so it's kind of
and laser.
and laser breath. So it catches on fire. We throw the 5-gallon bucket onto the fire, and this further damaged the vehicle. And
just spread it out, just like you're not supposed to throw water on a grease fire. It was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. So I mean, we destroyed that car.
Yeah.
It was good thing Denise had a friend that could put it back together for you. But
yeah, I think
it worked out. Wait, what?
This
You're
is
gonna say something. Don't rob the audience of whatever it was you were about to say.
Oh no, it's just it seems like if we thought about it long enough, there's so many instances where we were so stupid together.
You did a fair amount of dumb shit on your own too.
Yeah, I did.
I was not the factor that was included in all your stupid decisions.
Yeah. I don't think that's what I was getting at.
We could have a 4-hour show though, just on dumb shit that we both did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typical Abilene bullshit.
I don't know if it's just a small town thing.
Maybe not.
I think we're all idiots when we're younger. We do a lot of dumb things.
I don't know. I'm proud that we got to live that life before everybody had a cell phone, before social media was even a thought. To get on the internet was kind of a process, We're still dialing up and trying to load stuff off of Napster. It took 2 days to put 16 songs on a CD. I mean, the good old days.
Do you think younger people resent that talk? It seems like everybody talks about that.
Oh, I'm sure. Because I remember hearing that kind of shit whenever I was a kid. Like, oh, you guys, y'all just don't even know. You got it so easy and blah, blah, blah. And it didn't, I don't think it made me mad. It just made me feel like that they didn't get it. That they just had a misconstrued idea of what life was like then and then.
Which is exactly what they thought about us at the time.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
It's just different realities.
No, I think that the kids growing up today have a whole different set of skills that are more apt to, get them somewhere based on the technology and where we're at today. And maybe some of that's resentment, Like, if I had a grown up using the technology that we have today, I'd be better at it. And I suck at technology. I'm no good at it. I can type really good. That's about it.
I don't resent it.
You're just saying that. Yes, you do.
I mean,
Look at you sitting there.
I think it's
all
different.
resentful.
I think it's different for me, than for you, because I have like a teenager, child, and
So you get to see it firsthand.
yeah. Well, I think it's easier to have more empathy for where they're at because of who she is to me. And it's, when you have a kid, you kind of grow up again, and you have to try to look through their eyes when it comes to all kinds of things, just the way things operate. And it's easy to fall into well, this is how I see things because of my experience. But a lot of times I have to reel myself back and try to do that. Try to see it from her eyes.
Well, I know your daughter is excellent with whatever app she's using, whatever program she's using for her art.
TikTok.
Is it just TikTok? Is she doing all that through TikTok?
Mm-hmm. She just posts on TikTok.
I don't know. It looks incredible. I don't know what is hers and what is the program, but the stuff she's putting out is pretty incredible.
And
she's what, 14 now?
Yeah, I've barely played with TikTok a little bit, but it's pretty easy. So, obviously she's better at it.
But those are her drawings, right?
Yeah. Oh, those are all her drawings, her choices in the music that she adds to them, and the way she does the fades or the changes and all that. I don't know how much she borrowed that from other TikTokers. I know she watches a lot of stuff, but
and it's getting better.
Yeah,
she's growing in that skill set because it's. I mean, I thought it was cool when she first started doing it, but she's getting better and better.
I was very leery of her even using any kind of social media. I kind of got her started and restricted probably a little more than a lot of people, and I think it was for the better so far, the way it's working out. She has hers set with parental controls, so nobody can message her that are even her friends or that she follows and they follow her back. So there's no random communication with that whole,
Except for like the comments, and you can see that.
Yeah, and you can see that, and there's language restriction. So they can't, So you can't say anything inappropriate because she's also listed as underage. So, while it's a little uncomfortable, but to worry about what's out there, the big bad world and the people on the internet. But I think it's fairly safe the way we're doing it, and slowly moving into more freedoms as she gets older, and responsibilities.
That seems like the way to do it.
Nobody has it figured out.
Yeah, but I mean, the way you broke it down seems intelligent. I don't have kids, so I can't really weigh in too heavily on it, but that sounds... You don't want to restrict a kid from, 100%, like, oh, nope, not allowed. All your friends can do it, but you can't. That is going to create resentment between you and the kid. And you saw how off the rails I went, because I had very restrictive parents.
It's always a balance, right? Everything.
Yeah.
Being too strict.
Because I don't know if you ever snuck out of the house, but I did it on a weekly basis because I wasn't allowed to go anywhere.
You know what? The thing is, so did I. And my parents weren't that strict.
So, regardless, we were just shits.
Yeah, we're just terrible. Just terrible. No, I just had terrible influences in my life, like you.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. That was before I used to sneak out all the time when I was in middle school, which is kind of crazy, the idea of me thinking about my daughter walking around out on the street at, 13 years old.
And
14.
Abilene's not what it was either. I mean, people are ending up dead and missing in Abilene all the time now.
I guess. I don't...
Well, I
don't
hear stories now that, we didn't hear shit like that whenever we were going through high school.
I always question how much is it that the times have changed or just
Access
the way
to information.
or access to information.
Probably
I
right.
like to believe, and maybe it's ignorant on my part, is that it's more about how much you hear rather than what actually happens.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right. Things have changed, though. I mean, I was downtown 2021, New Year's. I came to Abilene to hang out and have New Year's with you, and I don't know who else was involved with that. But I was there. I remember. I have a picture of me riding 2021 in the snow. Yeah. And that was there at the Elegante. And
Yeah.
the reason I remember it so well is it was the end of a year-long absence from alcohol.
Oh yeah, okay.
And you were there for
okay,
my
okay,
first
yeah.
drink.
I was there for his first bad decision since
Of
doing
2021, yeah.
2021.
But what I was bringing up is that I was driving around downtown. I think I was just doing it because I wanted to. I was killing time or whatever. And the newspaper, the Abilene Reporter or whatever, the building was like ransacked. It was like missing glass, and there was a plaque out front that said something to the effect of Texas' oldest, longest running newspaper or something like that. And right next to that plaque was a 8 by 10.5, regular copy paper. Just, it looked like somebody put this shit up in 5 seconds, and it just said no longer open, or we're closed, or something like that. Like, it's just a poorly written piece of paper taped to the door, and it's obvious that the newspaper is no longer in business.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, man, what's happening in Abilene?
Oh my God! Even the place that's 40 years behind is closing newspapers.
Whatever.
That's the thing. Abilene is running, usually a couple of decades behind or more on everything.
At least a solid decade.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, it's a West Texas town.
Yeah.
Most of them are like that.
Yeah. It was just shocking to see that. And then you got other things going on. Crazy happenings in Abilene. A Hooters opened up 2 miles from Abilene Christian University.
Oh, my.
And then that was quite a debate for many a year, a Hooters.
Yeah.
They'd been talking about it for a long time, and it just was not going to happen because the people on the city council and the dollars that came in from ACU, it just wasn't going to happen. And then somehow it happened. We got a Hooters in Abilene, right down the street from ACU.
Abilene is a strange place when it comes to certain business things.
Business and religion.
It's very weird. It's got it's like the Bible Belt, buckle. It's like there's a church on every corner.
We had the record at one point for the most churches per capita. I think that's true.
But then there's other things that are real, like that. There's a crazy number of martial arts gyms, and maybe people don't, and gyms. I can't think of another place that has more gyms or martial arts gyms per capita.
What's that about? What does that say about the community?
I don't know. It's very strange. But there's all these churches everywhere, and like none of them are full anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is that because of COVID, or is less people dig Jesus, or what's?
Yeah. I think definitely like just society in general is kind of trending in that direction, and like less Christian for sure.
What's that about?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I guess, just part of the culture of the world. I feel is kind of like getting
more secular.
Yeah, more secular.
Well, that's going to leave a lot of interesting spaces. All these churches closing down. University Baptist was a historic building. It was old and stained glass, and I thought it was beautiful. And they turned that into a effing Walmart.
Yeah, a neighborhood Walmart, like the small ones.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's like
because I heard they closed down all the neighborhood Walmarts.
No, it's like a Market Street Walmart. It's still running.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I feel like we made it all about our hometown, Abilene, Texas, and Fort Worth.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where this episode's going to play.
Anyways,
but
that's where this guy mostly was raised.
I don't know if that's even fair to say, because I was
Really?
I was in Midland for the first 12 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then, 1 grade of middle school in Abilene.
Yeah.
And then I spent, you know what? So I did second semester freshman year. So I only left Abilene for a little while. That summer and the first semester, and then I was back.
Yeah. And it was like a year.
The people
almost.
involved in Arlington, that whole thing, they didn't want me there, so I came back. Anyway, so Abilene from second semester of freshman year until that whole thing was over, and then on to the Army. So I spent 6-7 years in Abilene, I guess. Something like that.
Oh, come on. It's home to you. Don't lie.
Doesn't feel like home anymore. It used to.
Yeah.
Going back to Abilene used to feel like home, and every single time I would come to Abilene, if I walked into a restaurant or went to a store, I recognized people. I knew folks from, but they've all moved away. There's some serious holdouts like you that are still there.
Holdouts.
And, it makes sense because you've got all your family there.
Yeah.
And then Chandra, he's got his entire family there.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense for the people that stayed.
Chandra's one of our mutual friends that we did all these dumb things together with from high school up.
Yeah, as far as bad influences go, now Chandra is an adult now. But whenever we were kids, he was definitely a bad influence.
He's the idea of what you think of, like what an adult should be. He's more that than either one of us are, I think.
Yes.
I think he
has adulted well.
He has adulted well.
Whereas we have not. I'm the least adult out of all of us, I think.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, we got some friends I won't bring up that, never had a chance, but and I love them too. But yeah, I don't know.
None of them love Andrew.
That's true. That's true.
Except me. But no.
Are we going to move away from Abilene now? Can I talk
Yes.
about the alternator?
Yeah, we.
So let's progress through the weekend though. So you finished up with Andrew. He performed well enough that they invited him back to continue competing in their new organization that we couldn't look up. And then I went and I had lunch with the Funky Panther Boys. And we talked about the September 10th event. We're just kind of doing some last-minute planning. And I don't know when I'm going to release this episode, so that has already happened. And people already know about the giant van outside. That's hush-hush until the event. Now, one of the things I was brainstorming with them, like, what do I do with this thing? Like, how am I going to do the big reveal, right? Do I ask 100 people to come out to the street and then pull back a curtain and go, look, there it is?
What? You're going to say, look, there's a big van I bought? Like, that's going to be the
mobile
big
podcast studio. This is the shell of what is going to become the mobile
shell.
podcast.
You should definitely tag that baby up.
I think I'm going to. So
make it, your whole thing on the side of it.
I went to a vinyl place, a wrap.
Get it wrapped.
Well, hold on a minute before you get too excited.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So I got him to do a quote, and I was very simple about it. I'm like, I just, for now, let's just do letters, and can we do my logo right here? And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll put a quote together. And I'm thinking, a full wrap for a car is like, you can spend upwards of $4,000 to maybe $6,500 to wrap a car, full wrap, and that's
it's with all the cutting and going around everything and all that.
That's pretty fair. That's what you're going to pay. Okay, depending on the difficulty and the model of the car and whatever.
Yeah, I thought wrapping was cheaper than painting now.
I think it's dollar for dollar about the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they do that intentionally. So it's like, well, you could repaint the car, or check this out. We could do this. And it's the same price. It's just what do you want to do? So I think the market set itself based on how much it costs to paint a car. Anyway, so I'm thinking if it costs, $3,800 to do a full wrap for a car, surely putting Fort Worth Roots name on this thing and a logo should be substantially cheaper. I'm thinking $500, $800 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I get the quote back from these people, and they're talking about like $2,800, and I'm thinking, no, we're not doing that, because this was supposed to be a temporary thing, right? Just put something on there. That way, now it's official. But I'm not gonna spend that kind of cheddar and then wrap it later.
Cheddar.
Yeah. You're not gonna let me use that word?
Cheddar.
Oh,
Yeah.
cheddar.
Cheddar.
I
know.
I went out and called it the full cheese. I put the in there. Anyway.
No, you're not allowed to say that.
So
Anyways.
now I'm thinking, go ahead and maybe just get some stencils, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I'll just very tackily paint the
my
shit on
God.
there. I don't know.
Don't you know a muralist or something?
I know several, yeah.
Well,
Several really good ones.
get them to do it.
I could,
Yeah.
but then
That'd be great.
there's the
You
time.
could show off their work everywhere. Be like, look what they did.
I could do that later, right? Because a muralist needs time, and I don't mind paying them, and I don't mind paying them exactly what they asked for. Because if I was going to pay $2,800 for something that's going to be temporary, I would rather give that money to a local artist, for sure.
Right.
So, yes, I'm on board with that. But this has to happen within the next week.
Oh, yeah.
So-
it's pretty quick.
So I'm thinking just do something stupid and funny and tag it up. And then I was also thinking I could bring out paint and brushes and keep a tarp down so it's not screwing anybody else's day up.
Okay.
And then on the side of the thing, and I'll have like sponges where people can paint their hands and then put it on the vehicle. I thought it'd be fun. And Sharpies, people can write on it if they want.
It's just more stuff you have to get off of it before you
Pressure
whatever.
wash that shit right off.
Okay.
It's got a shitty paint job on it right now
Yeah.
that they
It's
used
pretty nice.
to cover up. No, I mean it looks fine,
I know.
right?
Just teasing.
But I mean if you really inspect it, what they did was they just slapped some white paint on there to cover up whatever's underneath it to make it look better.
It's good.
There's probably all sorts of rust under that shit, which, well, whatever. But anyway, what I'm saying is we can't do any damage to that by putting paint on it. So if people have fun with it, cool.
I mean, it sounds like fun.
So I think that's going to be the big reveal. It's super, so it wouldn't take any planning on my part. That's the other cool thing. I'm big on that. So I just, put some 5-gallon buckets of paint out there and rollers and paintbrushes and Sharpies and hey, go nuts. And there will be artists at this thing.
Yeah.
So they might want to put something cool on there.
That'd be nice.
I don't know.
For fun. Yeah.
So it's another thing that we could do. And I'm just trying to make this as fun as possible.
When is this thing again?
September 10th, you nerd.
Oh, I'm supposed to go to that, right?
You're supposed to bring like a busload of people from Abilene.
A bus load?
Yeah.
Can I borrow your van thing?
I don't know if it'd make it right now. But I did drag that bitch from past Royce City, Caddo Mills. So, well, anyway, it's a hour and a half drive.
Oh, wow.
And I did this in rush hour through Dallas.
Nice.
And it made it.
Yeah.
So, the only thing is the brakes are screaming right now.
Yeah.
So
It would have been nice having to pull into the median, shoulder if on the highway if it broke down.
I just rolled the dice, bro.
Man, that's scary,
I know,
bro,
I know.
buddy. That's
See, I do
scary.
shit like that. I just do shit. You know this, right? Well, the good news is like that the engine cab is pretty open. Like it's gonna be easy to work on that thing.
Oh yeah.
So I just got to figure out what kind of engine it is because I've had several people look at it and they're like, I don't know, like that's a GM part, and then that's not a GM part, and what's that? So it's, I think it's a hodgepodge of a strange collaboration of different makes and models, and I don't know. So it's gonna be fun, but
sounds like fun. I don't know.
It runs very well.
You always have some fun projects. My projects are usually
Your kids.
not that fun. They're not finished.
We should talk about how bad you are at completing projects.
But when I
wasn't there a treehouse in your mom's backyard that you just eventually gave up on?
No.
Hold on.
There was a treehouse in the front yard, and
I don't remember that.
And it was gigantic. I mean, it was about.
This might have been before my time. I don't remember.
It was like 10 by 10, and it had a 6-foot picket fence as walls. So, it was over 6 foot tall. It's like almost 7 foot tall.
Damn.
Yeah, it had
the front?
In the front with a metal roof. This thing was gigantic. When I was like in middle school, and a guy down the street who was in high school helped me build it. And yeah, it was huge. It had a trap door up through the middle of the floor. It was big enough for several of us to sleep up in it. Me and my friends had.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy. But it was in the front yard. Imagine this giant shed-looking thing up in somebody's big mulberry tree in their front yard.
I've never even heard of this thing.
Yeah, it was so big.
So at what age did you tear it down? Because it wasn't. I've never seen it.
It stayed up there until I was driving. Like I was 16, I think, when it came down.
Oh, it fell down just on its own?
No, I think I took it down, if I remember right. Yeah, I just took it apart, knocked it down. It was big, though.
Anyway, we're talking about projects you didn't complete.
Anyways, that one was kind of completed. The thing is, it was never made to look nice. You know what I mean? Like, there was no finish. You know what I mean? It was put together, but not finished.
So, back to what I was talking about.
Yeah, anyways, there's plenty of projects.
You went to make a clubhouse that lasted 8 years.
Yeah.
And I think eventually you just took it apart.
Yeah.
Never got it done.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. It was a hoverboard project that never got fully finished.
Oh, I remember that.
Let me see.
So Cody's a little bit of a mad scientist. He had a major in engineering, right? I've still got to finish Monday's episode, too.
Ooh, fun.
It's done. I just have to run it through the filters and distribute it. So probably about an hour worth of work.
Yeah, we both work in construction.
You got me my first, you at least told me about Trinity, I think. You're the one that suggested that I drive for a concrete company. Because I got my CDL, right? Yeah. I got my CDL, and I moved to Abilene, and I had the... So I did. I spent some more time in Abilene. Mm-hmm. I did. I moved there and lived in Abilene for a couple years, right?
Yeah.
I dated Megan, and fire hot Megan.
Jeez.
Super hot.
Oh, let's leave that in.
Oh, it can stay in.
It's staying in.
Yeah.
She'll never know.
Megan will never hear this. But she was gorgeous. She was gorgeous enough to get me to leave the Army.
Oh,
that was the real reason.
Yeah. So this guy, he was supposed to be in artillery, but instead, he got stuck driving big trucks, running convoys, and dragging crap all over the world, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was warned about this before I joined, and I was artillery. I mean, I trained up, I fired rockets, I did the full thing. But whenever it came down to the deployment, needs of the Army, your combat arms. Okay, we're our combat arm guys. All right, we're going to train you up on how to drive these trucks. And I ended up driving trucks. But the good news is that got me a CDL, which I still use to this day. So
at the time, after he had been in the Army for a while, and I had been testing concrete for a living for a while, and I knew they got a lot of hours. They made a decent wage because of all those hours.
For Abilene, it was like top tier shit.
Yeah, it was a
you
lot.
weren't making
It was a
more
lot
money
of
than that.
yeah, it was a lot of money you could make in Abilene. And I was like, hey, you ought to drive a concrete truck. I know these guys can get like 80 hours, and they make a good amount of money per hour.
70. If DOT's listening,
Yeah.
it's 70.
70, whatever.
It might have been 80
number
back
is.
then. Just nobody talked about it.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyways, everybody's always cutting corners. You never know.
Yeah. You ever see a concrete truck on the highway? Give him a wide berth because that dude is half awake.
Yeah.
And he can't stop.
That's
fast.
reassuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's always stuff falling off the back.
However
of
many tons of material they're hauling around, going
it's
70 miles an hour.
It's almost 80,000 pounds loaded, which is about the same as an 18-wheeler. But an 18-wheeler has a large
it's spread out.
Footprint, whereas the concrete truck is it's basically a balancing act with rotating liquid inside of it.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous.
Anyway, so I'm the reason why he's probably in one of those things.
Yeah. 100%.
Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, you came back to Abilene for a while. You did that for a while. And anyways, but that's how you got into it, the Army.
I can't remember even why I brought that up, but yeah, that's your fault.
Yeah.
100%. All right, so back to the weekend. So you got done with Andrew's competition. We met up here at the office. Kind of monkeyed around a little bit with the car, and then we took off to see Late to the Station, one of the bands that played at the September 10th event. I'm talking post-tense now because the event's already happened. But they were playing down at Gamelli's, and that was perfect because you got to see live music at a pretty cool venue. And I'm really proud of you for not having a heart attack when you saw your bill.
Oh. Is that something I do?
No, I mean, that's something I would do.
Oh.
But I warned you when we went there that it was more expensive, so maybe that kind of... But it was. I had 2 drinks. You had 2 drinks. I had the pizza. You had the pasta. And I think we both got out of there for about $70.
Yeah, it was...
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was a bit steep for what it was.
Didn't feel like $70
I mean,
worth of
it
stuff.
was a really nice place. The people that worked there were really nice.
Yeah.
The people we met there.
Darby. Shout out Darby.
Shout out to Darby, the
bartender. The outdoor bartender.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Made up some delicious drinks.
She had a great energy and presence about her. But
she winked at me.
Listen.
She gave me a wink.
Everywhere we go, this is what this man sees.
Stop. Just stop it. They don't need to know. They don't need to know how ridiculous I am.
He's very ridiculous.
But she did wink at me.
Yeah.
Sorry you didn't catch it.
I didn't see it, you know.
Paul and Carrie were amazing.
They were.
And,
they seem like really nice people.
Dude,
and I thought their
I love
music
them.
was amazing.
Yeah, she has a great voice. And I pointed out to you that Paul is literally playing 3 instruments at the same time.
I just like their style in general. I mean, even the covers they choose to do, they do their, you know, just everything they played was good.
Yeah, and they do a good job of...
They do a lot of originals, and they're great.
They've got an album coming out, and I asked them yesterday for a release date. Maybe they'll have a release date in mind by the time we do the September 10th event, but they didn't have one planned yet. But some of the music you heard last night's from their new album, and it's good, man. It's really good.
Yeah, I was impressed.
They paired up with another local musician who's excellent. His band's called the Retrophonics. I think it's Chris Watson. And anyway, he's a musician that they really like a lot. So
I was looking at your sign. I think it's really nice.
It is, yeah. It's not the first time you've seen it, is it?
No, I just keep looking at it.
It's excellent. Yep. That was crafted for me by a listener of the show.
Really? That's awesome.
You know her.
Who? Oh.
Stephanie Daniels.
Really? Oh, wow.
She brought that to me down in Austin, and it's been part of the show ever since.
That's really nice.
It is. So the artist I mean, if I was to show you hell, you can look at the coaster here on the table, but this is the image that he had. That's all he had.
Yeah.
And he made a 3-dimensional, I mean, because the wood, the background is one piece, and then the bull is a piece, above the wood, and then there's space, and then the Fort Worth Roots is the third level to that. But it's incredible the way he did that, and he did it all off of that image. He didn't have any other guidance. So
it's crazy.
I don't know. It's incredible. And I've been trying to get him on the show just so we can talk about what he's doing and his art and all that, but it's been difficult. Sometimes it's really hard to get people on the show.
Oh, you mean like your good friend for like 2.5 years or something like that?
Yeah. Keeps ducking me. So here's something crazy. I'm not going to give any names, but I don't know if I told you this. I had somebody... I don't know if I should bring this up. I'm not. I'll give you a version of what I was going to tell you. Somebody hit me up on one of the platforms that I list my show on, and apparently one of the people that I've interviewed is in some serious legal shit. And I can tell you more later, but here's the thing. I don't know if they really are or not, but the person that commented on one of these platforms that I list the show on sounded pretty sure of themselves. So anyway, just talking about how hard it is to get people on the show sometimes. This person is somebody that I've been reaching out to for probably a year and some change, trying to get them back on the show.
Okay.
And I just haven't been able to get a hold of them. And I got a hold of somebody that works with that person and was like, yeah, I'd like to get this person back on the show. And they were like, okay, yeah, we'll tell her. Anyway, super strange. But, yeah, I don't know if I should even say what I said just now because it's hearsay. But
yeah, you should definitely, you should always repeat things that you don't know if they're true or not.
But I didn't say any
and
names.
Have them recorded and then put out in the world.
Yeah.
That's usually best.
Here's the thing. If you're going to hang out with people in the public and you're going to do 100+ episodes of a podcast and record with strangers, you're probably going to run into that every once in a while, right?
Yeah, you never know who you're really talking to anyways, right? I mean, there's people that you find out that you knew your whole life aren't who you thought they were. Like me, for instance.
Oh, shit.
This has all been a ploy.
You're going to pull your face off?
Yeah.
What's happening?
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it is weird. The reveal of people's true colors sometimes.
I mean, I'm not excited to hear that this person allegedly did what they did.
No.
But I fully anticipated that at some point, something wild is going to happen in the life of one of the people I have on the show. And it's going to be like, oh, God, I had them on the show. I don't know. You know what I mean?
How many serial killers have you had on the show so far?
Well, there's one on every episode. How you doing? How you doing? Anyway, so this shit's going to happen, I guess.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you like that?
I do like that. What happened to all your guests?
Makes for a better story. Just kidding. It's a fun joke talking about
murdering people.
The thing where the guy gets in the car, you know, the hitchhiker, and he's like, man, aren't you worried that one day you're going to accidentally pick up a serial killer or something?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, man, the odds of 2 serial killers being in the same car are very, very, like,
rare.
Yeah.
That's
good. That's exactly the response.
You lock the doors.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right, so the car. I've been pulling hard to talk about the alternator.
Let's talk about the alternator so badly.
I feel like we achieved a new man thing.
We did something. We had some good manly bonding. We worked on a vehicle together.
Like, I've done things, you know. I've changed oil. I've replaced tires. Well, hell, I took the entire engine out of my 2004 GMC Sierra.
And never put one back.
I never got it back together. I had somebody else put it back together.
Yeah.
Because, here's why.
That sounds like a Cody project.
Well, I pulled it apart and I couldn't find the problem. I was expecting to find like bent valves or scored up cylinder walls or something, but I never found anything.
Listen, this is
So somebody else had to diagnose it.
This
put
is
it
who
together.
you are.
Listen to me.
You will dive in to things like completely out of your
Unprepared.
element. Like you're like, you know what? I can do it because I said I can.
It's gotta be worth something,
I guess.
right? Is it not?
Is it a good thing if
I don't know.
you have to have somebody else fix it after?
Took me 3 years to decide my first business was not something I wanted to have anything to do with. I mean, just dove right into that shit too. But no, I feel like we really accomplished something. I mean, I know it was probably
we got
the
it fixed.
easiest mechanical thing that you could ever do.
Yeah,
it was 2 bolts, 2 cannon plugs,
Yeah.
quick disconnect.
I felt good about it. You know.
You know, the biggest issue I thought was getting the serpentine belt off, finding the correct bolt to torque on to release tension, and the fact that you didn't break 2 of my fingers is I feel like that's a win. Just that.
It was in a good bind, so it could have happened. For sure.
I know. And I mean, there would have been no second chances.
Yeah.
He had he was pushing down on the.
It would have been fine. My truck was right there next to us. I could have got in it and left.
And left. He was pushing down on the tensioner pulley, and
Pretty
my
hard.
fingers were right below. If he had slipped off at all, he would have. I mean, you'd have turned my fingers into a blown out hot dog.
Yeah, I would have smushed them pretty
It would
good.
have been nasty.
Probably would have broke them.
And I knew that, and I also know that you're extremely clumsy. So
That I don't know if I feel like that's
you know
fair.
what? Props to me for like biting the bullet and keeping my fingers where they needed to be with absolute disregard for my own safety.
I can't
deserve
say
a
that
medal.
I am surprised at all.
I deserve
that
an award.
you somehow twisted this into I deserve a cookie for you not hurting me.
Yeah, for you. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you always deserve a cookie. Just ask
Well,
him.
I guess what I'm really trying to say is thanks for your help. I don't think I could have done that by myself.
There's no way.
Pushing that much.
There's
I mean,
no way. I couldn't have done it by myself either. And I'm not saying I'm anything special. I'm just saying, like, I mean,
putting that much tension on that breaker bar.
tough.
It was an 18-inch breaker bar too. So
Yeah.
you had leverage, and you were still putting like all your upper body weight on it, right?
I pushed it till it bottomed out because there's no room.
Oh, it couldn't go any further.
Yeah, because I was hitting the
'Cause
top
I
of the hood.
barely got that
or
belt
the-
on.
where the hood meets.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah,
Nuts. And then so, the moment is it the moment of truth? Is that how the saying goes?
yes, the
So,
moment of truth.
We took it up to Advanced Auto Parts, and I had the dude put the tester on it, and he got done with the readout, and he's like, "Oh, everything checked out, but the alternator's not working."
Yeah, it's not charging as.
I was like, "Well, dude, we got a problem then because I just
We just
bought
bought
this
this
from
here."
you." And he's like, "Well, how long's it been running?" Yeah, I said, "I don't know, 5 minutes." So he said, "Well, go run it." So I looked at Cody and I said, "Road trip."
Need to charge it up for 30 minutes.
So we
or
hit the
more.
highway.
So
We ran for
we
about
drove around.
15 minutes one direction, 15 minutes back.
We
Put the tester
cruised.
back on it, and it all
And
passed.
it worked.
So good
we
job.
did it.
Good job. And
I mostly did it, but yeah.
you know what? I don't feel like that's fair.
Yeah,
I don't feel like that's fair.
I unbolted the
I
alternator.
unbolted things.
No, I unbolted the alternator itself.
Okay, you
I
did.
bolted it back in. I
You did do those
I had to do the tension pulley.
I got the belt.
For him
I
to
took
actually
care of the
get
belt.
the belt off.
I took care of the belt.
I did it
took
all.
I took care of the attaching.
I practically
You
did
can't-
it all.
Listen, this is a podcast. You can't talk over me. The attaching hardware, I took that off. I got that little shitty clamp off
Oh, okay.
that did not
Yeah,
go back on. If Emily's listening to this episode, this is my sister's car, by the way.
Yeah.
For the people listening and not knowing, it's a 2003
Yes.
Toyota Camry, and I borrowed this from my sister because we had a week of rain, and she had not driven. She had not driven this car.
Yeah.
Droven, Jesus.
Droven.
That's someone's name, I think. Dr. Droven.
Droven and Darby.
So the tires were at 8 psi. The oil had not been changed in over a year, and the battery would not hold a charge.
Yeah, it was in great shape.
So
Perfect.
far, I've aired up the tires, which is important. You know, I need to mention that for sure.
You have to have air and tires.
You got to have
what
air
do you
and
know?
tires. Yeah, and then oil change. You know, I didn't actually do that. I took it to the nice people over at Quick Car, and
Thank you, Quick Car.
they
Shout out.
charged
Quick
me an
Car.
arm and a leg Quick Car, and anyway, I got that
Everybody
done.
does.
And then new battery. So the new battery was a couple $100, and the guy at NTB was like, "You need a new alternator," and I was like, "You need to shut your mouth." Because that's $500. He wanted to charge me, I think, $500 or $600 to put an alternator in there. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not
no.
doing
The alternator's fine.
I do the basic mechanical
was
work
not.
on my vehicles, or vehicles in the past.
Do you have like AAA or something, roadside assistance?
No.
You probably should.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, you're the mechanic, so
Yeah, I'm not paying for that.
might save you some money in the long run.
Maybe not.
Guess we'll never know.
I guess not.
I think I'm going to do it. My dad was telling me that AAA, they've got AAA, and like 2 times a year, you get a free tow. And I was like, would they tow a giant box truck?
Nice.
Because if I could get 2 tows a year out of that, man,
Nice.
take my money.
Nice.
Because I'm betting that it's going to be at least twice a year that I end up towing that thing. It's old. It's got 300,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
It's an 02. I think that's right.
I've never had AAA in my life.
Yeah, but dude, the size of that thing.
Yeah, I mean, it might be the best thing for you because of what you have, for sure. Yeah. I don't know.
But we did it.
We did it.
We deserve something.
Yeah,
Like
we do, yeah.
You think any of these, smartphone, internet-obsessed kids could do something like that?
I don't know. I used my smartphone to do it.
Have you taught your daughter how to change the oil yet on a car?
No.
Do you feel like you should?
I feel like she should. Oh, I feel like I should teach her how to change a tire. I don't know, and the basic understanding that I have, but that's all I have to give, anyways.
Yeah. Well,
So-
she doesn't need to know how to build an engine or anything. But yeah, changing a tire would be advantageous because if she ever gets stranded, she doesn't have to wait on a stranger to
Right.
help her.
Exactly.
And it's fairly effing basic. So it's not like, yeah, everybody should know how to change a tire.
Yeah, and it is weird when you meet other grown men that don't know how.
That's crazy to me. That is unacceptable. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
is that
but-
sexist of me? Men should know how to change a tire?
I mean, I guess, but I mean,
Because, I mean, as far as like personal safety or your ability to take care of your family.
here's the problem. So, why don't they know?
Oh, yeah. That's how they were brought up. Right?
Yeah, but why?
Why do they not know?
Yeah, why do they not know?
Because no one told them how?
Yeah, but what's another reason?
Price of tea in China?
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe they didn't have a dad to teach them.
Well, yeah, that's...
Yeah. Or
No one
their
taught
dad
them.
didn't know and nobody taught them. Or so, anyways, is it their fault?
It's not their fault. No.
Yeah.
I got you.
So who are you upset at?
I'm not upset. Who said I was upset?
You said that's wrong. That's what
It is
was
wrong.
it? What
It's
was it?
wrong.
What was it you
Here,
said?
how about this? How about you take the initiative to teach yourself? How about that?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of shit that my dad didn't teach me to do.
Sure.
Because I took the initiative to learn it. Like replacing an alternator on a Toyota Camry.
Yeah. Nobody.
Which I did all by
actually,
myself.
I think I struggled through doing it on the Blazer, like without anybody teaching me.
Right.
Yeah, before YouTube to watch somebody else do it.
Yeah, no shit. So like when I took my engine apart, it was all YouTube. All of it. I couldn't have done that without YouTube.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. It was well, actually, I think my mom's boyfriend back then kind of pointed, yeah, you take that off, pull on that to get get some slack on the the fan belt, and you pull it out of there and put the new one in there.
Yeah.
Like, anyways, it took a long time because, you know.
Well, and then
It was a good experience.
first time through something like that, you're super careful too, because you don't want to like break something that can't be replaced.
Yeah.
Or
you definitely have to
it's
be
gonna cost you
confident.
money.
Like, that's the thing about anything that has to do with construction or mechanic work. You have to have initiative and be able to take chances and try something that you don't know how to do. And that's almost any job really across the board. Who does well? Somebody with initiative to try.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. But
I don't know. It bothers me whenever I don't know how to do something that somebody else knows how to do. Because, well, the thing is, like you said, like the initiative to do something.
yeah, but that would never end if you. I'm glad I don't.
Well, I mean, I'm not.
You said anything.
Okay, I'm not talking about like a cardiologist putting a stent in an artery. I'm not talking about shit like that. I'm talking about basic shit. Like, it bothers me that I'm not good at woodworking.
Yeah.
You know, it bothers me that I don't know how to run a bead on a welder. Like, these are things that I want
wish
to
I could
accomplish
weld.
in my life. You know, I want to know how to do these things. So I'm hoping at one point I have the financial security that I can buy property and build my own. Maybe not. Maybe I don't build the house, but maybe I build the shop next to it. You know what
Come
I mean?
on, we could build a house.
Oh, fuck.
We just changed out an alternator. Are you kidding me? We could build
No.
a house for sure.
Yeah, we could build City Hall.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Jesus. Yeah.
Well,
No.
I actually have a construction degree, but I could probably figure it out.
No. I guess. I don't know. YouTube probably has some really interesting videos on how to build a house.
Yeah.
No, we could do it. They make kits and stuff like that, and we're you know, maybe we're not geniuses, but we're moderately intelligent, I think. Right? Aren't we above average? Come on. I mean, I know we're not above average in some categories, but
Yeah. Most categories. Yeah.
intelligence. I feel like we've maybe. Come on, give me 10 points. 10 points above average intelligence.
I don't know.
I've been told, I've taken tests before that people are like, oh yeah, you performed 80% over.
Yeah, I took an
everybody
internet
that's ever
test
taken the
that
test.
said my intelligence was really high.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I
you
did
know.
that on Instagram. It said you're
Yeah.
1,000% more smarter.
Yeah, more smarter. I like that.
Yeah, it's good. 1,000%.
Yeah, I buy it.
I bought it.
I
Actually,
bet you
I
did.
paid them. Yeah, paid them money for the test. I think I am still paying them. It's like a monthly subscription. I guess I'm an idiot. I don't know. So these episodes, when I'm recording, they're not usually like this. Like, it's usually like
Pointed.
high tempo. Like, I'm not letting any dead space happen. Like, the only dead space that occurs is usually whenever the guest is like taking a minute to think.
Yeah.
But I'm usually.
Sure.
But this one, it's just you, man. So
Yeah, it's just me.
Man,
Just
I
your
feel
own.
like we had more though. But I mean, it really was. The entire episode was hinging on our time at Gemelli, your reason for coming down here, and then the alternator swap. Yeah, and we've talked plenty of shit about you, so that's good. I enjoy talking shit about you.
Yeah.
So who all do you think's gonna listen to this episode that we know? You think Chandra will drop in?
Chandra might.
I'd like to have Chandra on the show.
Oh, why not?
Yeah. He knows way more about MMA than you do.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even really
What was
get
that?
into it.
What was that? You did like a uncomfortable little laugh there. Like,
yeah,
you think you
yeah.
know more than Chandra about
No,
MMA?
it's just funny. We didn't even really talk about it.
We talked a little bit about it. About you not knowing what that new competition was or that new
Yeah,
organization.
I'm just really bad with names. But the whole MMA thing, I've been doing it for, 14 years.
So I didn't get to finish telling you this though, but like you seem, and I'm not kidding, you do seem cognitively sharper these days. Like, I'm not kidding.
Oh.
And then your ears look a lot better because your ears used to.
I feel like my ears are the same. They're just
No.
scarred up, and I think
No.
you get used to seeing them
No.
messed up.
No,
They're thick.
When you were actively competing and like training,
Maybe when they were like actually inflamed.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. They
Yeah,
looked
they're
insane.
Yeah, no, they're still pretty dang big and thick.
Well,
yeah.
compared to like normal people ears, I guess. But
This one's like over a quarter-inch thick, like where it's supposed to be skinny.
So yesterday, Tim from the Funky Panther, he said something like, "Oh, are you an MMA guy?" or something like that.
Yeah, I forget until people like point it out.
Well, he said he was looking at your shirt, but I immediately like looked at your ears to see if like that's what he was picking up on. But your ears look way better than they did.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of health benefits, I think, to you not getting pounded repeatedly in the old gray matter.
Yeah, recently I actually it was like a second day of doing kickboxing. I sparred. Anyways, this guy that was getting ready for his kickboxing match, he's always been really good, and he's tall. He's like 6'2". He's long. I'm 5 foot nothing. You know what I mean? I'm like 5'7" on a good day on my tippy toes. No, anyways, but yeah, he caught me really good. I was like, whoa.
When was this?
This is just the other day. It was like a couple weeks
What
ago.
did he get you with?
It was a spinning back fist.
Ow.
Yeah, it was big.
And you're using 16-ounce gloves?
Yeah, we had regular boxing gloves on.
Yeah.
We're doing some kickboxing. Anyways, I did better the first day I sparred with him. The second time I sparred. So it was like the second time I trained in like, I don't know, a couple of years in kickboxing, really.
It seems like that would really...
And I got starched with a hard shot. Like, well, I mean, not like my knees buckled, but it was like, dang, I just got hit.
And it was a good, clean, like, full...
Yeah, exactly. I was like, man, yeah, I shouldn't get hit.
Y'all weren't wearing headgear?
No, of course not.
Oh, my God.
No, this is... The thing is about headgear, I don't think it really helps. And also, I don't think it really helps, and it makes your head bigger.
Bigger target.
And a bigger target, and I would get hit and like part of the headgear, and it would hurt my neck because there's more leverage on your neck and stuff. And there's been studies that say that they think it actually makes it worse too. I think when it comes to trauma to the head, there's only so much you can do to mitigate or reduce or whatever. It's like football. I mean, we've added all kinds of rules. They've added different types of equipment, and the thing is, the more we understand how damage to the brain, the more we realize how much we're damaging the brain in almost every sport in different ways. Even just hitting soccer balls with your chest, the sloshing around of your brain inside of your head from the sudden impacts of different things. We just keep finding out more and more how much brain damage there is tied to different sports. So it's just, I don't know what you can do. There's only so much you can do in fighting. I mean, almost half of it is headshots.
Yeah.
Boxing. So the theory is boxing is a little more dangerous because you're hyper focusing it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
at least it's spread out into different arts.
I think the argument with the gloves is pretty legit. Like wearing gloves, especially those big old heavy 16-ouncers, you've added more mass to your punch.
More inertia from the mass.
Not only that, I'm not going to punch you near as hard if my hands aren't protected by that big old pad. You know, so the person throwing the punch is going to give it way more energy than he would if he didn't have that glove on, and then the person receiving the hit is getting quite a bit more mass from the glove, especially a spinning backhand like that.
Oh yeah, it was good.
I think that is probably the best example of the glove adding more mass.
If you turn your fist and hit with the side, there's less padding. So now you're hitting with a more blunt object.
With the edge?
With the edge where there's less padding. Yeah. And it has just as much mass. So, anyways. Yeah. It's fine.
It's all fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Good, I'm sure I'll heal.
Yeah.
Eventually. Yeah. I'm getting older.
I don't know.
It takes a while.
And I think as you get older, the damage that you take is more substantial, right? I mean, I'm sure there's studies that show that.
I think it's since you're producing less cells because you're older, and you're also degenerating. You're
Right.
dying slowly.
You stop making brain cells at like 28, I think.
Yeah.
And then your brain mass starts to reduce at the age of 40.
Yeah, so it's sloshing around in there It's got plenty of room. No, just kidding. Yeah, but that's one of the main reasons I quit fighting. And at the time, my wife didn't like it as much, and the time, and also it's just with the parents. Or I mean, with being a parent, you gotta.
Taking away time from the family.
Yeah, but I guess you have to prioritize certain things over other things. While you're passionate about things, it's like, what does it give back to me in comparison to what it would give to me to be healthy for my kids? So
Yeah, later on down the line.
So I still do a couple of things that aren't necessarily good for me sometimes.
So you just recently completed a weight loss challenge, and over the course of 8 weeks, you lost 25 pounds?
No, it was way more than that.
Way more what? Pounds or time?
Weight. Yeah, it was 8 weeks. I lost 45 pounds.
God bless. How many weeks?
8.
So 8 weeks, 45 pounds?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think some of it was water because I reduced my carbs.
So that's probably, 8 to 10 pounds, right?
Yeah.
The water weight?
I don't know if it's that much, but somewhere around there.
Anyway, 45 pounds is
Yeah.
incredible. And at 8, well, shit, if it was a year, it'd still be crazy, but 8 weeks is insane.
Yeah, it was. So in this challenge, you did as many weekly group classes, which are like HIIT training. What's that called? High intensity training classes.
High intensity interval training. So it's got 2 eyes.
Yeah, that's right. Anyways.
So you're doing that once a day?
I was doing that. Actually, I did it 3 times a day on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I
Jesus.
did it. And I would do it once a day the other days.
So when you're doing it 3 times a day, how many minutes per?
An hour.
Gee, God damn. So you're doing 3 hours in a day?
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't that way the entire 8 weeks. I was doing a minimum of 3 to 4 for the first 5 weeks.
3 to 4 what? Sessions or hours?
Sessions,
okay.
HIIT training sessions, and then I was also doing 2 half-hour. Part of the challenge was to have 2 half-hour cardios minimum per day, every single day, and you had to do check-ins. So this was a contest. They haven't ruled who won the contest yet, but in it, you had to do as many of these classes they had on schedule, and do 2 cardios per day, and do check-ins with pictures of proof that you did 2 cardio sessions a day, and also there's a lifting regimen, and there was also a diet plan. So I meal prepped the whole time, and I did all that working out, and then the last 3 weeks I really turned it up. I was also doing jiu-jitsu as well here and there when I could.
And you have a 40-hour week job?
Yes.
And kids?
Yes.
Jesus. So were you not sleeping, or?
I was sleeping. I probably wasn't getting as much sleep as I should. It was kind of hard. If you work out late in the evening, sometimes it's hard to go down for bed. At least it is for me.
Do you try to take anything like a Benadryl or a sleep aid?
No, I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
So the problem would be if I do jiu-jitsu, it's late. Anyways, and that's always been kind of an issue, is then I end up staying up kind of late, and then I have to wake up early. Anyways, but yeah, I just really killed it, working real hard, dieting really hard for 8 weeks, and I lost about 45 pounds.
Can I put those pictures up on the YouTube video?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay.
There's some transformation pictures.
Because they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
The pictures are insane. To know that you did that in 8 weeks is...
Yeah.
So what about dietary shit? Like, what are you doing diet-wise?
Diet-wise, it was... just give you... So, when I said cut carbs, that was only near the end. only just to help a little bit more at the end. One of the worst things people do is they cut out carbs too much, and then you can't utilize your protein as well to keep good weight on.
Because you need carbs to synthesize protein, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you need sodium also to use carbs. Yeah. So, I mean, and you need fat, even though in the health industry became this whole anti-fat thing of fat-free this, fat-free that. That's not good either. So you have to have a balanced. Anyways, it was pretty balanced. In the mornings, I would have a carb, which is I would have oatmeal and an egg yolk or two and some egg whites every morning, and then my main meals were always a protein and a vegetable and a carb. Anyways, all three of them were 6 ounces or more of chicken. Or
what are you doing? Are you weighing this stuff out?
I just go off of the weight of the package and I split it up accordingly.
Oh, okay.
Like I got 3 pounds, so that's this many ounces, so that makes this many meals.
Yeah.
If I split it up, and I just eyeball it,
Yeah.
I'm going to eat all that protein regardless. I mean, if I end up eating 5 ounces in one meal and 7 in another, it's not like I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
So that's how I do it. You don't have to weigh things. Now we're getting crazy. But outside of that, I was having like a healthy carb, like one sweet potato with one meal, and then another add a cup and a half of cooked white rice. White rice is fine. Some people think brown is better, but it's as long as you wash it and you get all the extra starch off of it, there's really no difference as long as you steam it.
Yeah.
Anyways, and ate lots of broccoli with as my veggie because it's one of the most nutrient rich.
Broccoli is.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dark leafy green, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And outside of that, I also supplemented with some protein shakes and some more egg whites. And I just avoided liquid carbs and things of that nature that were no sugar.
Did you stay off of alcohol the entire time?
Not the entire time. The last 4 weeks, the last half I did.
Yeah. And did you notice that it was easier to cut weight when you were not drinking?
Yes, absolutely. It definitely helped me lose more weight faster for sure, and it helped me keep it off. And I was kind of like I would have almost like a cheat day or cheat meal, and I just started cutting that out as well because it seemed like it always take 3 times as long to get rid of that bad weight after because you just
wasn't worth the cheat.
Yeah, it wasn't worth the cheat.
Well, you're in the best shape I've seen you in a decade.
Oh wow!
I think I don't know.
It wouldn't be a decade because I used to fight and get down to this weight all the time.
You were fat.
Yeah. Okay.
And this entire competition was to bring awareness to old senile people driving too slowly in the left lane. Correct?
That is correct.
Okay, good. And we really need to get to the bottom of that. Like, why do they still have license? At a certain age, isn't it time to just hang it up?
Andrew really is an ageist.
They just need to get out of the left lane. That's all. That's something I always wanted to make like a focal point of the podcast was to bring awareness to people driving too slowly in the left lane.
Yeah.
There's fewer things in society. There's almost no other thing in society that drives me crazier than somebody driving slow in the left lane. What are you doing over there?
What? Itch my chin?
No,
I apologize.
No, the left lane thing. That's absolute entitlement, right? Like, you people can just get behind me and deal with the fact that I don't know which lane to be in.
No, I think everybody lives in their own little world and they don't think about other people a lot of times.
You're actually a world-class driver yourself. You've totaled 4 vehicles now, rolled over 2 of them down a hill.
Hold on.
It's amazing you're still alive.
Hold on. How many?
What? 2 of these were company trucks.
Let me think about this.
For anybody listening that employs Cody Hawford from Abilene, Texas, 2 of those were company trucks.
One was a company truck. One was a company truck.
I've got your insurance report right here.
I was testing concrete, and I had a 5 a.m. pour or earlier, and then I was on my way back, and I fell asleep and drifted about 6 feet over and ran head on into a guardrail, flipped over upside down, and slid about 100 feet or more.
Jesus Christ, how are you alive?
I was fine.
And keep in mind, people, he does not clean the inside of his cab. So it was like, I'm sure it was like a bomb went off in there.
It wasn't
shrapnel everywhere.
It really wasn't that bad.
And then the stuff in the back of your truck, wheelbarrow, cylinders, testing equipment, all sorts of shit. None of it secured, none of it strapped down.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think strapping it down would have made one bit of difference. Flipping over upside down and sliding on the roof for 100 feet or more. I was just lucky that I didn't fall asleep 10 seconds earlier and drift on over to the left even farther and going down in between the 2 guardrails off a bridge and head on into...
Oh, my God.
Anyways. So, at the time, I was a single dad, and I think my daughter was still in a car seat. And I used to take her into daycare every day before work. So there's a car seat in the work truck.
This is awful.
And so the firemen and everybody show up, and I'm just like gathering up all these tools that are spread out across the road.
And they're thinking, why is he gathering the tools?
Yeah. They're like,
and not looking for the baby.
Was there anyone else in the car? And I'm like, no. Like,
I'm sure
what's your deal?
I'm sure you didn't answer them back on the first try either. I bet they were screaming at you. No, you didn't answer them right away, and they're getting furious with you.
Like I think I was, yeah. So it's just odd to me. Like they weren't all over me checking on me. They're looking at the crash site. They're like, oh, he's fine. He's picking things up.
Yeah.
Where's the kid? You know, it's like I was alone. I mean, it was just funny because they're panicking.
It's not funny.
They're panicking.
Of course they're panicking.
They're panicking.
They're like, this deadbeat.
Yes. Yeah. Apparently.
Jesus.
Is this how usually what y'all come upon? There's a guy and there was a kid in the car and he's not concerned about the kid? Is that what usually happens?
How injured were you?
I had busted. My hand was... there's a bit of skin knocked off of my hand because when I flew forward and my arms came forward, when I hit the guardrail, it hit the dash, and that was it. So I had a little gash on my hand.
Were you doing 70?
Yeah, it was on it was on cruise control.
Oh my God.
And I just fell asleep for I don't know, a few seconds and drifted about 4 or 5 feet
and nobody has shown up to do studies on you?
No.
Nobody wanted further explanation of how you were able to walk away from that?
So after I hit it head on, it flipped over, and I don't believe the thing didn't...
The airbag
didn't go off. Didn't go off. And I guess maybe because I continued to travel forward after I hit the thing. It wasn't a sudden stop. It was an impact, but I didn't suddenly stop. I continued to, like I said, slid and, decelerate. And I don't think I had my seatbelt on either.
What the... God damn.
Yeah, because I flew forward and draped over the steering wheel, and my hand hit the dash.
You didn't have any severe bruising or any of that?
No, not too bad. Nothing that I remember that was bad. Anyway, so they show up. They freak out about the car seat. Where's the kid? They're like, the kid's not here. She's in daycare.
With you being the kind of smart ass you are, it's amazing you didn't go, oh my God, where is she? Help me.
I wish I could go back.
Oh, no. No.
I'm just kidding.
No.
But
in the hypothetical,
so
it's kind of funny. But, yeah, not in practice.
So I think it was like a fireman like in a pickup truck showed up first. Because this is in Hawley, Texas.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah, Hawley is like... So we talk about Abilene being nothing. Okay, well, look up Hawley. Anyways...
Don't look up. There's no reason for that.
There's the only thing that is there is there's like a store at this intersection where I ran into the bridge.
Oh, so there was a store.
There was a store right there, adjacent to where I was, next to the, yeah. So they hear it. They call. Somebody just had a wreck right here on the highway.
A drunk driver just ate a guardrail.
Yeah. Anyways, so they show up. Then the ambulance shows up, and they try to take me in the ambulance, and they're like, yeah, but you have to lay on the gurney, and they have me lay down like I'm fine. They have me lay down, and they go to strap me in. And I'm like, this just all feels so unnecessary. And they're starting to put me into the ambulance, and I'm like, I want out of this thing. This is dumb. I'm okay.
That's your father talking right there. You know that. That's some Jerry shit.
I mean, I could have been hurt at the time and not known it, but
and that's what they're worried about.
It had been a decent amount of time. Like, I mean, it hadn't been an hour or more or whatever, but it was long enough that I felt like I had calmed down and I was okay and I had no injuries and I felt like it was all unnecessary, and then my work was going to get this huge bill and it was really not going to help me at all, and I felt like it was unnecessary, so I told them to let me out of it, and they let me out, and they had me sign something, basically.
An NDA?
Yeah. No, not an NDA.
So
No.
Cody came up with an outstanding idea yesterday.
I don't know if I came up with it.
I think you did. So just to add a little bit of spice, whenever I show people the new studio, when they come in here and before I start telling them all the ideas that I have about like what we're going to do with the space, I'm going to start having people sign an NDA.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems more legit.
Yeah. I mean, he had me sign an NDA. I mean, it's got to
be pretty serious. They're doing some big stuff over there, signing NDAs and whatnot.
Anyways, after the NDA, I
tell people anyway.
Yeah, I told him I was fine.
Sue you. I will sue you, sir.
And a cop showed up, and I thought he was going to give me a ticket.
You didn't get a ticket?
I didn't get a ticket.
Oh, wow.
I was lucky. I was worried, too, because I had like another ticket, so I couldn't get deferred or anything.
Because you're a world-class driver?
Yeah. I always get them deferred when I can. Anyways, or not deferred, I'll do the... Whatever. I'll get it off my record by doing defensive driving, which I encourage everyone to do for their insurance prices. Anyways, so then I just walked over to the store and waited there for somebody to come pick me up. I called my mother to come get me.
Thanks, Denise.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. She's always there when I need her. I'm lucky.
She's always there when I need her.
Yeah.
She's a good lady.
Yeah.
We love Denise.
Anyways, that was the end of that story. That's how that happened.
I'm just imagining a crumpled up ball of a truck. Was it just absolutely destroyed?
The front end was pretty messed up, and the roof was caved in a little bit from flipping over upside down and sliding on it.
So did you get all your tools back? Were you able to test with that equipment anymore?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, especially the air meter. That's an expensive piece of equipment. So listen, I'm just really lucky I didn't have a nuclear gauge with me, which is what I used to use to test the layers of building pads, and it uses a radioactive source in it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that would have been a big deal. That would have been a really big deal.
I would have had to call some people out.
Yeah.
Close down
especially
the road.
if it got damaged and
not good.
Yeah, the radioactive source got loose or whatever. That would have been a big problem.
Yeah,
and not because it's so dangerous as much as
it's just procedures.
It's a regulated thing.
Yeah,
it's against the law not to do the right thing.
Well, what's weird is that you don't have to have any kind of like placarding. right? Because I've never seen.
I had to take a hazmat class.
Sure, but what I'm saying is there's nothing on the truck that identifies you as carrying something
on the
like
box that it is carried in. They have requirements of what that box has to be, and it does, but it's just that box that holds it in the back of the truck. So
yeah. But I mean, if that box was to come loose and end up down the road somewhere,
yeah, it's just on the box.
Say some sleepy employee took out a guardrail and he didn't make it, and that box ended up getting thrown somewhere, and there's no placarding on the vehicle, they would never know.
Mm-hmm.
So you would just have this, and surely a week or two would go by and somebody would go, oh wait, there was a nuclear device in that container.
Oh, well, the company would know.
Right.
Because they keep up with it, and there's
But by
paperwork.
then,
you sign it out whenever you take it out of the office and all that.
But by then, a feral hog has already found it and carried it off, and now they're learning language.
Anyways,
and now
there's
they're building
regulations.
cities.
There's regulations where you sign it out.
Hog City, of course, would be the name.
Anyways,
they would build their own society, and now we've got this whole thing. Yeah, could be bad.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't hit one of your buttons like doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, good job.
How about that one?
Yeah, I like it.
We're all laughing. Yeah, I used to really play with those a lot. In the beginning, the early days of the show, I was very fascinated with these buttons, but there's a lot more I could do with that. But they've come out with a new version of the Rodecaster, so I think eventually, here really soon, I'm going to end up getting the new Rodecaster, and this one is going to be used as kind of a community device. Well, like I said, before you sign the NDA, or after you sign the NDA, we're going to be doing some big stuff in this room behind me. And it's going to require some additional equipment, and we're going to invite people to come out and do their podcasts here. And
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So this could be the first device that we use that other people can utilize, and I'll go ahead and get myself a nice new shiny Rodecaster. So before mastering this thing, I'll be moving to an upgrade.
Nice.
Yeah. Odds are I'm going to be like, I like the old one better.
Uh-huh.
Probably.
Uh-huh. Like I said, Andrew likes to jump into things.
I just spit.
He spit all over your
made
mic.
Me spit. Yeah. All right. There was one other thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I can't remember what it was. I wanted to ask you what your thoughts about the show. I know you don't listen anymore, but you know, how nerdy is it that I do this, or how stupid is it, or what are your judgments that you pass on me for having a podcast? Because one of the biggest obstacles to get past mentally was knowing that I was going to distribute this thing far and wide, and people from all across the world had access to it, and they could listen to it anytime they wanted to. And just the kind of the self-conscious thought that, you know, I'm going to say dumb shit, or I'm going to represent myself in a way that might not be true to my character, and people are going to hear that. And so you are one of the people that I thought of in that context before I started releasing episodes. Like, I really had to kind of put myself out there. You know, it's like standing naked in a public place. Everybody can see.
You're doing
me.
more than I'm willing to do.
What do you mean?
I'm not putting myself out there like you are.
Not many people are. That's what I'm saying. It's odd. It's weird. It's not normal, I don't think.
I think, I mean, it might sound a little corny, but, I mean, you're just daring to be bold, trying to do something, put yourself out there. I think it's, I think any person that doesn't have a crazy ego is going to feel like the imposter syndrome of, you know, feeling like they're not, it's ridiculous for anybody who want to listen to me or hear me. And I feel that same way. So.
Yeah. I get a lot of people, almost everybody, that I invite on the show, they're like, what am I going to talk about?
Yeah, I feel that same way.
But then whenever you get the conversation going, and I promise you, when you hear this episode, you might not like it, but you will realize that it's more interesting than you thought. Whenever I get done trimming out the pauses and stuff.
Oh, my uhs and ahs.
Stop it. I have to trim that out now. But I am really curious to get some feedback from you, and I would like you to add this to your podcast list from time to time, just to kind of check in and give me some. I don't care if you like the show or not. I just need some feedback.
I don't dislike the show at all. I got to where I don't even listen to my regular podcasts. There used to be an MMA news podcast I'd listen to all the time when I had my old job. It just, if you don't have time to listen, it becomes hard.
I get it. There's a lot of local podcasts that I try to keep up with, and I just straight up don't have time for it most weeks.
It really works well for people, I think, that drive.
Oh, driving's perfect. Yeah.
Driving's perfect for
it. And I started listening to podcasts whenever I would be in the kitchen cooking. That's another great time to do it. During lovemaking, that's another great time to listen to the latest episode.
During lovemaking?
Is that not, is that weird?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody quiet, please. I know it was kind of, please, we're trying to do a podcast.
Stop it. Anyways. Yeah, it's very strange for you. Have any other focus?
Yeah, it's hard to focus. That's the ADD thing. I was sitting at I think I brought this up already, but I was sitting with the Funky Panther guys at a Funky Picnic is the name of this place. Very strange that they picked a place that so closely resembles their name.
Is it?
Yeah.
Strange?
Well, we noticed that they had their logo is FP. They got FP on their glasses and FP on their shot glasses and things like that. I'm like, oh, y'all could use this on your show. But anyway, the four of us sitting there, and I think all of us have at least a mild form of ADD. You should have been there for this shit, but it was just madness. Our conversation just went on one tangent after another, and we never got anything discussed. ADD is a wonderful drug. I suggest you try it.
I was diagnosed with it when I was younger.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's all the same for everyone, but
it's definitely not.
I have a lot of trouble with the staying focused on certain tasks and finding myself and down different like getting things done, like as far as task at home. That's the toughest. At work, I get either hyper focused on something to the point that not everything is getting done correctly, or I start to focus on something and then I get led astray to something else. As far as like the listening part, I think I'm better at that than a lot of people that have ADD are. So I've questioned whether or not I have ADD, but there's certain things that are
I think you
obvious.
Definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know I do.
Yeah.
I also think they overdiagnosed the shit out of kids in our age group with ADD because
it's popularized at the time. It was
popularized, but that's also in the day and age whenever physicians were still legally allowed to get massive kickbacks from pharmaceutical companies. And I mean, it got so bad that these pharmaceutical reps would offer, trips or or money or whatever.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, I think they put a stop to that.
Yeah,
And
that sounds like bribery.
Well, they actually started putting some physicians in prison, I think, or revoking their medical license because the opioid crisis with people just having unbelievable surplus of like morphine or codeine or whatever. They were just writing scripts for this stuff left and right. And, the more they moved that certain product, depending on whatever pharmaceutical rep, they were getting kickbacks for it. So, but I don't think that's allowed anymore.
I took Ritalin in elementary up through middle school.
Yeah.
Till I wanted I didn't want to anymore when I was in the 8th grade or some 7th maybe.
Yeah.
And I
For
just,
me, it was, I think,
just
6th
quit.
or 7th grade. Yeah. Same.
Yeah, I told her I just don't want to do it anymore. My mom. And, you know, I guess I just learned how to cope with it because I did have, when I was getting off of it from, I think it was 6th to 7th grade, I actually had some behavioral problems around that time. I know I was getting in trouble a lot. I don't know if it was because of the getting off of it or what, but it got better as time went.
Yeah, my educational trajectory did not change. Didn't change whether I was on it or off of it. The only thing it really did was zombie me out. Like, I just
never felt that way.
Fucking dial tone with me. Like, nobody's home. And then whenever I got off of it, I started putting on weight. And I feel like it just
Dude, you were
dulled me
anorexic
out.
when we were kids. When we were in middle school and early part of high school,
That's when I was putting weight on, though.
You're so thin.
I
when I first met you,
I know. I was thinner before you met me because I was on
That's
that
crazy.
stuff. And I had just started putting on a little bit of body fat when you met me.
Yeah.
They had me drugged up bad. But I don't know.
Andrew was the crazy, like, hyperactive kid, though, when he was little. Like, I've heard, you told me about it, and I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
That'd be
bad.
a lot to deal with.
I don't blame any adult for wanting to put me on meds.
To trank you?
Yeah. I mean, 100%.
Yeah.
I get it. But I also don't think you should do that to children. Not for any reason. For me, and I'm not a physician, and I'm not a parent, but for me, it upsets me that they did that. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Because it didn't improve my grades. It didn't improve my situation at school. All it did was dull me out. And that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no benefit to the kid at all. It made me a little more, you could handle me a little better at dinner time, you know? That's fucked up, I think. I don't know. But like I said, I'm not a physician.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a great idea.
I don't know.
Might also be responsible for some of my weirdness. I'm an odd duck.
Weirdness.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, your raising is definitely part of your weirdness. Definitely.
Whatever.
I think we're all have our own problems. Everybody's got some weird
I'm
things.
solid. I'm solid, dude. At AF. I am solid AF.
Okay.
I'm good. You good? We're good. It's all right.
I don't know.
Listen, when the lights go out, I'm the one you're going to want to have around.
Am I?
Oh, yeah.
You're the kind of person that's going to skin me way too early to get by to eat my flesh.
I will share
Like,
some of
you're
that meat with
guy.
you. I will share some of that meat with
If
you. If
anybody's the first guy to be like, I'm turning to cannibalism because it's necessary.
the power went out 4 hours ago. Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew is that guy. He's like, look, nobody wants to say this, but it's true. And he thinks he's helping. He thinks he's helping, but he starts cannibalism is what he does. He's that guy.
I mean, I feel uncomfortable admitting it, but I think you're right.
Absolutely. He's like, I'll field dress this. I got this.
Do you know how to field dress any animal? How
No,
hard
I
could
got
it be? I installed an alternator on a Camry.
Just don't tear open the shit bag and it'll be okay.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah, I heard that somewhere. Oh gosh.
My quest for knowledge now is all about the podcast. So, like, I need to have more people on that know things so that I can
Yeah, I'm the
absorb
wrong
their
one.
information. I learned so much today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you learn so much?
Well, I learned you're a great friend for helping me put the alternator in.
Well, I felt guilty after being told what a terrible person I am and how I deal with people.
What do you mean?
I was just joking. Remember, because the whole about this morning. Oh, I was a thankless jerk this morning. He gave me a blanket to use, and I didn't use it.
So back it up. So we're at the new studio, and Cody is a cheap Mike Foxtrot.
I could have just went home. It would have been fine.
But instead of wasting money, and I get this, I would have probably would have done the same thing. He ended up staying here with me at the studio. This dude had a cot in his truck. Like, he was fully ready for this.
I asked about it.
So anyway, my cot, because I do keep a cot in the studio because my living situation is 30 minutes away. So on the weekends, I'll pull a cot out and I'll just crash here at the studio. And Cody did the same thing. My cot, you open it up and it's ready. Cody's cot took 30 minutes to carefully assemble.
It didn't take.
It was like watching the James Webb Telescope come into form in outer space.
It wasn't that big of a deal.
That's what it was.
Anyways,
38 different
mine is just
motors, aligning
old school
mirrors, and
a couple of things
it's a
snapped
lot.
together.
It's a lot.
It's all right.
It took you forever to put it together.
No,
and then this morning it took you twice as long to pull it apart.
Yeah, because I was tired and slow. Yeah.
So, this is not, the studio is not for camping or living or any of that. I keep one blanket, and this is how good of a friend you have here. I gave you the one blanket in this studio.
Again, he's patting himself on the back.
It's just true. It's just true.
Yeah, just don't hurt your shoulder.
Okay. All right. Well, if you patted me on the back once in a while, I wouldn't have to do all the work myself. Anyway.
Why would anybody have to do any work with you doing so much?
So I give Cody the one blanket, and this morning the sun starts coming through the windows, and we start waking up, and I can't even remember what prompted this, but you were like, you said something to the effect of, "I didn't need this blanket."
No.
What were you thinking?
No. So
what were you thinking?
So last night I have a sleeping bag. Okay, if I needed anything to cover up with, I would have got in my sleeping bag. But I wake up,
start making fun of me for giving you a blanket.
No, that's not what happened
immediately. Meanwhile, I'm shivering over here in a corner like an abused dog behind a dumpster at a Taco Bell.
He used something else as a blanket.
A jacket.
He had a jacket, and I was like, "Are you using a jacket?" I was like, "Well, why didn't you use a blanket?" And you're like, "Well, I gave the blanket to you." I'm like, oh, I didn't really need it. I was okay.
Well, that was stupid. That's what you said.
No, I didn't say that.
You dumb ass.
No,
you idiot.
I didn't.
You dummy.
Well, I mean, I'm
totally berating me.
Unaware that there was a blanket given to me.
Yeah, because you threw it on the filthy floor. Because I have not swept.
I didn't throw anything on the floor.
I put it on you. I gently draped you.
Is that what happened?
Like a man burrito.
I had no idea. I woke up with nothing on top of me. Anyways, so I just, he's like, "Well, I gave you the blanket that I had." And I'm like, okay, like I didn't know. Like there's no way for me to know.
Your version is so much milder. He literally heckled me for an hour.
I didn't heckle him.
About giving him the one blanket that we had here.
No, but he tried to make me feel bad for him giving it to me. Like I should say thank you now. You just awoke. And I just now told you what I did for you, and you're not saying thank you right now. You're a jerk.
Not one.
You're a jerk, Cody.
Still has not thanked you.
And I'm like, I find it funny because I'm like, how am I supposed to know something I don't know? And now you're upset at me because you chose to do something that I was unaware of.
I'm just glad last night when you got hungry, I gave you those expired peanuts.
You gave me expired peanuts? How dare you?
I mean, I didn't really give them to you. You stole them.
You 100% told me, "Oh, you want a snack? They're in there." And I was like, "Oh, look, here they are. They're just sitting here in the middle of the room all by themselves." It's almost like a trap.
Like on a stool,
yeah,
like
on
in the middle of the room.
Yeah, it was just weird. Anyways, he said, "Yeah." And I go and get them, and I started eating some of them. And then the next day, he tells me there's something wrong with them. And I'm like, I trusted you to give me something that's okay to eat.
Never trust a Sicilian when death is on the line. You fool. What movie? I quizzed somebody on this yesterday and they failed.
Come on, The Princess Bride, of course.
Nice. That's a high five you just heard.
Why wouldn't they know that?
It was Javier from the Funky Panther, and he had no idea.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I feel like there's some pretty deep layers to my movie knowledge. That's my favorite movie quote, because it's like, well, it's good for testing the waters.
My
like,
grandmother was Sicilian.
Well, that's right. What kind of person am I dealing with? You know, like you knew it right off the bat, but somebody that doesn't have the prowess, the movie knowledge.
Another person that had parents that didn't love them and they let them watch TV all the time instead of dealing with them because they had ADD.
That movie is a classic.
I'm just kidding. My parents are very nice.
Jesus.
Never mind.
You know, anytime you want to say anything negative about Denise, I just point out the fact that she had to raise you.
Oh, gosh.
I wonder if she ever gave you a blanket and you were like, dummy, gave me a blanket.
And then she was like, I gave you a blanket while you were sleeping. How could you not thank me?
This actually kind of sounds like Denise a little bit. Denise.
Oh my God.
Just, I don't know. It kind of did.
I don't know.
A little bit. Maybe not. I don't know. I love you, Denise. She's going to hear this.
No, she's not.
She's going to hear this.
She would never listen to your podcast.
You're telling me 100 episodes in, you don't think she's ever listened to it?
No.
Because
not a one.
She doesn't understand internet, or she is embarrassed to know me as a human.
Yes.
Both. All the things.
All the reasons. No, Mom, I would probably... I don't even know if she knows what a podcast is, honestly.
And whose fault is that?
Yours. You should have told her, man.
You
have a podcast.
Just explaining to me.
You have a podcast.
You were just explaining to me that you are learning things through your daughter, okay? Mm-hmm. It's the parent that learns from their children the new stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
So this is a failure on your part, bringing your mother into the 21st century.
Is it?
Absolutely.
I thought she had asked me, and I told her, because that's what I'm doing with my kid.
You know, that's an unrealistic expectation.
Oh, okay.
And besides, you owe her for building a freaking storage building in her tree and leaving it there for decades.
She was impressed.
Was she? You're sure she didn't have some uncomfortable conversations with the neighbors?
She didn't mind.
I'm getting Denise on here. We're going to talk about this.
I don't think she minded at all.
That's how she's going to learn about podcasting.
Yeah,
I'm just going to have her on the show.
But she's the type of mom that wouldn't mind. You know.
You have probably the best mom ever.
Okay.
You
I'm
do.
just kidding. She's great.
In many ways. And it's not just that she puts up with you. But that's a big part of it.
Oh, but that says a lot.
And a hard working lady, too. She's been at the same place for...
Oh, she doesn't work anymore.
Is she retired?
She's been retired for the last 2 years.
I didn't know that.
Almost. About.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, she worked for Taylor County for like 30-something years.
Yeah.
So she's doing what she should be. She should be retired. She should be taking it easy.
Good old Taylor County.
Abilene is the seed of Taylor County.
So I know most of your kids are old enough that they're already ruined. But your son is your youngest, correct?
Okay. What are you about to do?
This might help.
This book?
Yes. What did I just hand you?
Fatherhood by Bill Cosby.
When was this written?
Let's see.
Open that thing up.
It's
See if there's a
be-
date. Somebody wrote in it.
Yeah, somebody wrote it.
Who's
June
that from?
16th, 1986. Love to Dawn, a new father to be. I don't know what that says right there.
Here, let me have a go at it. Smarter than you?
I can't
I'm a lot
quite-
smarter than you.
I mean, that handwriting I can't quite read.
These books I was on TV. I was on national television for a show called HGTV's Flipper Flop Fort Worth. Hold on. I'm telling you a story of this book.
I know the story
But
of
they
your
don't.
books.
They don't know the story. So, one of the homes, there was a recently deceased man. And I think it's okay to say this because there's no way for anybody to look this up. And there's no last name here. So I think we're good. I don't know. Please, God, don't sue me. So we're doing this television show, and I'm sure I signed an NDA.
Why would God sue you?
Is God going to sue me? God shouldn't sue me.
You said, please, God, don't sue me.
Anyway, so we're doing this. We're doing this show, and one of the things that they got to do to flip. I should finish saying the name of the show. It was Flipper Flop Fort Worth.
Okay.
And they'd go in, they'd fix these houses up, and they'd sell them, right?
Yes.
And they make a television show out of it. I was involved with the landscaping portion of it. I hope I'm not violating the NDA. Anyway, one of the houses here in Fort Worth, a gentleman had, how do I put this delicately? He had committed suicide by running his car in his garage.
Oh.
And so they got this
I
house
forgot about that.
on the super cheap, right? Well, when they went to gut this house, one of the things they had to do is offload a huge library of books. And I was horrified when I got to the property one day to start kind of surveying and coming up with a quote and figuring out what we're going to do for the landscape, that they had taken all these books and they threw them in the construction dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking thousands of books. And a lot of them at this point had been water damaged and were just covered in shit. And I mean, it was bad. So I salvaged probably about 1,000 books, maybe more. I took all the best ones I could find, all the ones that hadn't been ruined, and I loaded them up. I made 2 or 3 truckloads back to the house. And I was stacking these books up, keeping them. Over the years, I've run out of space for these things. And I've had to take them to Goodwill. I've had to donate them or something. But anyway, they weren't thrown away, and I think that's a win. Books, right?
Yeah.
You got to salvage books.
Kind of reminds me of something I heard on like a TikTok the other day. Is about people who actually read books and how much more successful they are because of it.
How about people that just hold on to books?
And the statistics
Because I've never read this book.
Of how little people read nowadays. I actually sent it to somebody recently.
We need to start reading. We really do. I committed time to reading a while back. I don't feel like it changed my life, but I do need to get back into it. All right, so this is one of the books that I have kept over the years from that collection of books.
Mm-hmm.
So inside, and I hadn't even seen this, we opened up this book, Bill Cosby, Fatherhood, Introduction and Afterword by Alvin F. Piosaint, MD, medical doctor. Anyway, this book, I kept it because I thought it was very interesting that Bill Cosby had a book on fatherhood. And then shortly after finding this book is whenever all the Bill Cosby stuff happened. Mm-hmm. And the value of this book to me went up quadruple. Like I was like, man, I'm really holding on to some history here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. June 16th, 1982. Love to Dawn, a new father-to-be, surrender to the insanity. That's probably insanity.
Surrender to the insanity.
Of this book. It's wonderful. Love you always. What is that? It looks like B-A-E-U and Bailey. Is that Bo and Bailey?
Yeah, Bo and Bailey Cox. Sorry. Shouldn't have said that last part, maybe.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to find a book like this. And anyway, there might be some good tidbits in here from old Bill Cosby on how to raise your child. Let's be clear on something. He didn't do anything to kids, right?
That's the thing that I...
Oh, well, he didn't send it to me.
I'll send it to you.
Oh, shit. Library of Congress catalog in publication data. Cosby Bill, 1937 to current. Fatherhood. I don't know.
So the question is...
so this was printed in 1986.
Can a rapist be a decent father?
We were watching a movie last night. and it was Sylvester Stallone's newest money grab. Sorry, Sylvester. I feel like you're better than this. It really wasn't a bad movie, but I hate seeing a legend of mine in movies like Escape, where he did a movie with
Arnold
Schwarzenegger, yeah. And then they did another one, Escape 2.
Oh,
And
they did a second one.
These movies were just garbage. But the one we watched last night was really not that bad. It was good. And I think...
I didn't finish it.
Yeah, you fell asleep like a sleepy hoe. But it was decent. Shit, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it was made in 2022. It's a brand new movie. And at the very end, I feel like the entire movie was just a setup for this quote. It was, there's good and evil in every one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to understand that people are capable of both. I feel like that was the entire reason that movie was made. Mm-hmm. And it's a good point because two things. One, don't turn your back on anybody because you don't really understand what's going through someone's head. And just because they're a good person right now doesn't mean they're going to be a good person in every situation, right? I think that's fair to say.
Okay.
And then the second thing is, even though somebody did something awful, it doesn't mean that they're not capable of good. And I think that second part's kind of a harder stretch, right? It's harder to accept that. Like, once a piece of shit, always a piece of shit. But Satarian, I think, might have been the name of that movie. That was the name of the superhero in the.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right.
Well, the thing is, I feel like culturally now we're doing this thing where people are canceled and everything that they're associated with always is canceled now.
Yeah. Well, you fucked up and that's it. Your life's over. We don't want anything else from you.
And
now we have to cancel all of your previous work.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, can a rapist be a good father that can give other people good fatherly advice?
I think so. I think. Okay, so in 1986,
I don't
this
know
book
his kids.
right
I'd have
here.
to talk to them, see what they have to say.
This book was written. The picture of this man was taken while he was doing all that awful shit.
Yeah.
So
it's scary. Dude.
I don't know that this would be the best time in his life for him to be giving out advice. But yeah, I think that I think I really like that quote from last night's movie. That there's good and evil in everybody.
Well, I'm glad that you got something out of one of Sylvester Stallone's last cash grabs, as you put it.
It was a decent movie. It was. I'd watch it again.
It's good. I mean, it's art, man. You know?
It is art.
You know?
And then there's, like Michael Jackson. Made so much incredible art. Changed the face of music entirely.
I really almost...
And he got canceled. He did some questionable shit that I don't think he was ever convicted of. But
he was never convicted. And I think I and most people believed he did what he was accused of.
I think he did a version of what he was accused of. And I think that in his mind, he had done nothing wrong. Honestly, I think he sincerely believed he had done nothing wrong.
I don't know.
I'm not making excuses for people that do bad shit, by the way.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. Anyways, in this thing with I just feel like the world is kind of changed. There's less grace. There's less forgiveness. There's a lot of moral high ground everybody's trying to take, and I think we're a society of hypocrites. We're imperfect people that make plenty of mistakes, and I think it's we've just kind of gotten where we're a little too comfortable with casting people out.
Now, there are acts that are so egregious that
No,
Surely
and
there's
again. I'm not making any
saving that
excuses
person
for anybody. Yeah,
But what is surprising to me is that, we look at somebody like Bill Cosby, who did something that was, by most people's standards, unforgivable, right?
absolutely.
But then we've got some other people that just get a free pass, and it's
weird.
It's like a popularity contest.
It is.
It has
weird.
less to do with right and wrong, and more to do with what's in vogue.
Right.
And Bill Cosby had been a shadow of a celebrity
Like
for
I
a
said,
long time when this hit. Had this come to light in 1986, it probably would have been just dismissed.
Oh, it probably was dismissed. You just didn't know it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, but fast forward to 2019, whenever all the shit came out about Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
If his career was still on an upswing, do you think he would have received the same repercussions?
No.
No, I don't think so either.
No, but also we have gotten where we like to tear down idols now. Like that's a big thing.
That's kind of a positive connotation there.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
tearing down
kinda,
idols is probably a good thing.
Yeah, but I mean it's almost it's to a fault. To the point of, well, we want to tear down things just because they're big.
Yeah.
Just because they're big. Not to say he's that, but you get what I'm saying? Like, everything big in the world, we make it incendiary, and we want to tear it down, is kind of like what I see a lot of people doing, too.
Bill Cosby, regardless of where his career was at, though, is kind of he was a little bit of a national treasure, right? I mean, that's a household name. And I don't care what generation you are. Everybody knew who Bill Cosby was.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good, wholesome show. He had lots of good, wholesome shows,
And
like
Jell-O.
with kids and
Jell-O.
and family and
Jell-O.
and having a positive, image for certain races, for his race, and I mean, it's hard to, I don't know. That's why a lot of people, like, I feel like they can't accept that he's guilty also because of the good things he did do.
Yeah.
Because they, it shouldn't, like I'm saying, that shouldn't stop being a good thing.
I didn't follow the
That
whole
happened.
thing, but with him getting in trouble and all this stuff coming to light,
Yeah,
I didn't
don't
follow
know
the whole
everything.
thing. But there's one image that sticks with me, and it's whenever I think they have handcuffs on him. They're escorting him somewhere, and a camera gets in his face, and he kind of like, I want to say like stuck his tongue out and like was kind of mocking them, like whatever.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was super weird, and I'm probably not describing it correctly, but like the moment was, that's the vibe, like I don't care. I'm Bill Cosby, whatever.
Ew.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like
So, yeah. Not great. Anyway, don't get canceled. Don't do it. And don't do anything terrible. I think we've both ran into this where we've befriended people before that ended up being monsters later. I know it's happened to me a couple of times. I think you had some kind of run-in with somebody at the gym. I want to say there was a character from your story that did something terrible, and you'd been like training him or something.
Oh.
We don't have to talk about that, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it happens in life.
Like,
just don't turn into one of those stories. Cody
It was
Halford.
a domestic abuse thing, and I'm very much so against that, and it made me want to wash my hands of them.
It happens. Like you interact with enough people, you're gonna find some really shit humans every once in a while.
Yeah, I do try to be. I try to be forgiving, because I have to. I have to accept that I know I'm not perfect, so I should be able to accept other people aren't. But also, you got to set boundaries and say certain people you don't want in your life. So it's a balance, like anything else, I think.
So I think as far as cancel culture, Bill Cosby is definitely one of those people that we should just kind of
I don't know.
cancel the shit out of.
I just, yeah.
Anybody involved with something that egregious.
I don't know. He's so old. It's like
Like a moot point.
Yeah, a bit. He's right there.
He got away with it.
Yeah, he got away with it.
So what do we do? Not punish him?
Well, he's out of jail now.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he got out.
And now what? No repercussions outside of that?
I don't know.
They found him guilty, right?
Yeah. Look, I'm not 100% up and up on it.
Oh, and by the way,
Fort
Worth Roots doesn't research any of this stuff. This is completely hearsay. We do not stand by any statement made here on the Fort Worth Roots podcast.
Yeah.
We're just talking.
Yeah, as far as I know, he's free.
You going to look it up?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Okay. This is also not legitimate information. We do not stand by these statements either. This is just shit Cody's reading off on his phone. If he ever finds it. Probably not. We've already decided that your research abilities are dog shit.
He was released. Yeah.
Like on bail? Is there going to be more? I thought he was in prison for life.
He spent 3 years in prison in Pennsylvania. Supreme Court threw out his 2018 convictions on charges of drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Costand in 2004.
Can you give us a source? 2004?
Yeah, that was what that's from when the accusations were.
Oh, okay, so that's not when it occurred. When the assault happened?
No, that's when he did the drugging and the sexual assaulting.
Was in 04?
In 04.
Wow. Okay. So was he not doing that kind of stuff in 86? Can I like this book again?
Is that how it works? I thought when you get canceled today, like you get canceled forever from before. That's how I don't know. I'm not part of it.
Okay, so we cancel Bill Cosby as a toddler?
Yeah, we
go all the way
forever.
back?
Forever.
I think you can enjoy, at very least, you can enjoy his art before he made terrible choices.
Okay. So why did the court overturn the conviction? Because the prosecutors violated Mr. Cosby's rights.
He got out on a technicality?
By reneging on an apparent promise not to charge him. The court majority ruled in his favor. 2000, yeah.
So he's out on a technicality?
I mean, that's how legal crap works.
Oh my God. Well, when you got Bill Cosby money, I don't know how much money he's got, but he's got Bill Cosby money for sure. Whatever that is. Bill Cosby money might be $1, it might be $1 million, I don't know. But he probably, you're going to put whatever you got asset-wise into lawyers.
He ended up paying her $3.38 million to settle in 2006.
How much?
Okay, so in 2005, Bruce L. Castro Jr., who was then the district attorney in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, issued a news release saying that he had declined to charge Mr. Cosby over the matter. Mr. Cosby then sat for dispositions in a separate lawsuit filed against him by Miss Costand, which he paid her $3.38 million to settle in 2006.
God damn.
But
that is a lot, dude. Jesus.
But a subsequent district attorney reversed Miss Castor's decision and charged the entertainer with assaulting Miss Costand. After all, in the trial, prosecutors used that Mr. Cosby had said in the disposition his admission that in decades past he had given quaaludes to women in an effort to have sex with them as evidence against him.
So his testimony was null and void at that
So
point.
it was because there was a promise of non-prosecution. There's a promise of non-prosecution for him to admit basically what he did.
So they're like, you can tell us and we won't charge you.
Yeah. And then they went back on that and they charged him, and then he got out based on that. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Anyways, probably should cut that out.
No. People need to know. Because it's been quiet, you know. Last thing I remember is him getting loaded up in a police car.
Right.
Well,
he's
don't
been
hear
out.
anything about it. All right.
Those the Times. The New York Times.
New York Times. That's what you read off of?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like the 1986 copy of Bill Cosby's Fatherhood, I don't know where you could get it, but that's the name of the book. On the back of the cover, it says, Fatherhood is pretending that the present you love most is soap on a rope, knowing that you're in trouble when the child says, no problem, thinking that the height of fashion is matching socks, and helping your children learn English as a foreign language. Oh, there's one more. Not being the boss of the house because you've seen the boss's job, and you don't want it. I don't know. This doesn't sound like a good read, but it definitely brings character to the studio, and I believe I will keep this book here to remind people to make good choices.
Don't be a rapist.
Don't be a shitty human.
Jeez.
Yeah. Regardless if he spent his life in prison or not. I really thought he was going away forever. That's crazy. Well, whenever we talked about doing a podcast, what information had you decided that you wanted to get out into the world? Was this just supposed to be a goofy ass thing that we did together?
Yeah, pretty much. Just a goofy thing to do with you.
Well, we nailed it.
I just try to, I don't know. Since I don't listen, at least maybe I could participate somehow.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe listen once in a while.
I'll try.
I've got an interactive map that shows me that nobody from Abilene listens to this shit, so maybe we'll snag up some Abilene listeners.
I doubt
I know.
Well, because of me, I'm going to bring in all these listeners. You don't understand.
I know plenty of people that want to hear you say dumb shit.
Yeah.
I know lots of people in Abilene.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Everybody.
Why wouldn't they just call me?
Everybody in the Dom family, for sure.
Yeah, why wouldn't they just call me?
No, they will call you after this.
Yeah.
What's your phone number?
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
I'm not putting that out
Yeah,
there.
go ahead.
No.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Hold on. Let me don't you do that. You understand?
I might.
me?
I don't know.
Nobody's going to call me.
If I put your number in the show notes, after this little back and forth, people will call you.
Who would call me?
Well, the Doms, for sure.
He has my number.
Oh, shit, he's going to call you then.
Yeah, he called me last time he wanted to talk to you.
You know, I never got that call, by the way.
Oh, he never called you? He just got the info he wanted from me.
Fort Worth Roots has a phone number now.
Oh.
I haven't set up the voicemail yet, though, so.
Oh.
Let me see here.
Oh, I need to put that down so I can prank
You
call
sent me
it.
an attachment? Oh, it's that video.
Yeah, it's a video.
You're going to put it down as prank caller? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm gonna prank call you.
Here it is. Fort Worth Roots, new phone number. Voicemail not yet set up. Maybe by the time I release this episode, it will be 817-988-1292. And I asked the kid, I was like, can I get like a bunch of like consecutive numbers? And anyway, we played with that for a while until finally we landed on this number. And I'm not a big fan, but he was trying to give me a 682 number, and I was like, nope, it's got to be 817. It's got to be 100%, absolutely.
Now I have your other phone saved.
Oh, because last time I did this, you did get some prank.
Yeah.
What did I do? Call you or text you?
Yeah, of course you did.
I can't remember. I think I was texting you, right?
I think you called me.
Had to be text, though. You know my voice.
The last time he did like a reverse prank call, I call him, and he ends up putting somebody that we know from our past on the phone, and he pretends like it's not Andrew's phone, and He acted rude and then hung up on me. Said, "Don't call this number again." And my initial reaction wasn't, man, maybe I called the wrong number. I was like, nope, that's the one I have saved. And yep, that's the number I have saved with text, so it didn't accidentally get changed. Anyways. But then he called me back.
So
and
I
said he was
thought-
sorry for basically pranking me.
Well,
The friend.
I thought that you would go into panic mode and start an elaborate,
search.
What's the guy? Liam Neeson taken
Yeah.
scenario where you're like,
I don't know who you are.
gotta go save Andrew.
But and I don't know how you got Andrew's phone.
But I will find you.
But I will find
If it's money you want, I'm broke. I'm from Abilene. But I do have a particular set of skills that make me unstoppable at concrete testing.
And wrecking vehicles. That are
into
not my
guardrails.
own.
I'm basically God. I can eat a guardrail at 70 miles an hour, minus the plutonium. Jeez. All right, dude. Well, we did 2.5 hours. Thank you for doing this with me. And next time we do this, I need you to have something that you created.
Maybe
Start
have
a
a
band.
reason to speak to me. Okay.
No, we did good. This is something I've wanted to do for a really long time. Just I was on the Jerry Jonestown Massacre podcast about a month ago for their 9-year anniversary. And listeners, if you haven't checked out the Jerry Jonestown Massacre, you should. It's a great podcast. They've been around for 9+ years now. It for a very long time was the largest podcast in North Texas, and they have 5 awards for being the best podcast in Fort Worth. But anyway, I got a chance to sit in on that one, and I told those dudes I really like their format, and I would like to do more just, stuff like this. It's not really on brand for Fort Worth Roots, but I don't know. I like it. I like just having chill conversations. And
I'll try to create something next time.
I mean, like get in a band or...
Yeah.
You've been up to stuff. It fits because you came up here for a competition. You did that big 8-week, 45-pound weight loss thing. You've been doing stuff. You're not stagnant. So we had lots of stuff to talk about. I wish we would have spent more time talking about how you just watched me as I put an alternator in that car, but I feel like we probably covered it enough.
Yeah. And every woman that meets him is in love with him also.
Well, now that's true. Shout out to Denise.
Oh,
she loves me.
I hate you so much.
Thank you, Fort Worth Roots, for being here, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
I don't even know what to tell you. You made it. I don't know how you did it. You got a lot of time on your hands. Tell me what you thought about that. Is it okay that I do weird stuff like this? It's not your typical episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. These were episodes that I've been sitting on for a while because I didn't exactly know where to put them. So I just put them all together. Made kind of a Thanksgiving type thing. So, anyway. Thank you to Jeffery Lord for always being a supporter of the show and helping us promote the September event that we did out there at Pouring Glory. Big thanks to Joe Guzman for being in studio and just hanging out and being a good dude. Hoping to do some work with him for Psychedelic Panther coming up, I believe, in April. And as details unfold, I'll let you know all about that. Richard Keller, that guy needs to be a repeat co-host on the show. I'm going to reach out to him and see if we can't get something nailed down. Always a blast having Itchy Richie in the studio. And then Cody Halford. Why did we do that? Why did... That's a really long segment of the episode. If y'all got a chance to listen to that, Cody Halford is a dear friend, a great dude, a wonderful parent, and just an all-around good guy. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. We had a fun weekend. Kind of got a chance to show him around. He got to see some live music from friends of the show and try out some good Fort Worth food. And anyway, it was fun. Lots of fun. Okay, there's really nothing else to tell you about that. You've sat through, 3.5 hours of that already? Moving on, Springfest 2023, April 22nd. River Oaks Christmas, what am I talking about? The River Oaks Springfest car show that we did last year was a huge success. We're going to do it again. It's going to be bigger and better this year, and it's happening on April 22nd. So make sure that you put that on your calendar. Fort Worth Roots will be there representing, of course, and it's going to be a blast. So more details to follow on that. River Oaks Christmas Parade is Saturday, December 10th at 6 p.m. The route will end at City Hall for the Christmas tree lighting. And a big thank you and shout out to anybody that came to the Pouring Glory event that we had this weekend, the Border Collie Rescue, live music, chili cook-off, and, of course, Fort Worth Roots was there representing, doing some recordings, making friends, kissing babies, shaking hands, or shaking babies, kissing hands, something like that. Hadn't happened yet, but that's tomorrow, and by the time you listen to this, it will be yesterday. So a little bit of time travel work there. Anyway, thanks for coming out. Okay. Sponsors, Roofing Solutions by Darren Hauk. You can go to roofingsolutionshauk.com, or their phone number is 817-882-6520. And just by telling them that you heard about them on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, you get 50% off on a roofing tune-up. What is a roofing tune-up? You have caulking and all sorts of things that kind of break down over time on your roof, and you should probably have somebody up there at least every couple of years to take a look at your roof, just make sure there's no damage because you may not know if there's an issue. And getting ahead of something like that could save you thousands of dollars. And it's a great opportunity to meet a quality local roofer. You do live in North Texas, and this is the worst place to own a roof because we get beat up by all the stuff. The high temperatures, the winds, the hail, all that stuff. So go ahead, contact Darren, let him know he's your roofer now, and have him on speed dial, 817-882-6520. One more time, that's Roofing Solutions by Darren Hauk, roofingsolutionshauk.com, and 817-882-6520 will be in the show notes. Thank you to our sponsors, Woodpost Metalworks. You can go to woodpostmetalworks.com. I'm always talking about their fire pits that you can break down. It's a box. It's custom. It's got lots of cool stuff, nice artwork. And you can break it down. It lays flat. And you can take it with you tailgating or barbecues or whatever you want to do. Take it with you. Pull it out. Put the pins back in. Now you got this really cool fire pit. It's awesome. That's one of my favorite things that they sell. But they do so much more. They do light metal fabrication, plasma cutting, things like that. Lately, I've seen them post a lot of stuff about signs that they've made for local businesses. So that's something they do seemingly on the regular. But lots of cool stuff. And you can go to their website. Here comes Christmas. You're going to need some cool ideas for gifts. Go to their website, woodpostmetalworks.com, and at checkout, use the code podcast817 for 10% off. Thank you to our friends at Hauk Walker Originals. If y'all made it out to our event this September at Pouring Glory, we were passing out these really badass tumblers, these insulated cups that Hauk Walker Originals made for us. They've got a laser etcher that can make quick work out of any kind of custom project that you might need for your office. Maybe you have your own podcast and you need stuff made professionally, on the cheap, and quick. These would be the people for that. Check them out. Hauk Walker Originals can be found at haukwalker.com. And if you have a house and you're planning on putting Christmas lights on that house, you're running out of time. Give my friend Adam a call. He does residential and commercial light installation for the holiday lights. You can get him at 325-232-4183, and I'll try to remember and put that in the show notes this week. Don't let that 325 number fool you. He's a local guy. He's been here for years, and he's been doing the commercial and residential Christmas lights for 3 or 4 years now. Knows what he's doing. He's got all the connections you need to make sure that you get exactly what you want. Does good work. Good dude. Give him a call, 325-232-4183. Tell him you heard about him on the show. He's not a sponsor, actually. Just trying to spread the word here for him. So, yeah, tell him you heard about him on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Blow his mind. And one more shout out to our listener supporters, Angela Hauk and Stephanie Daniels. Thank y'all for being a monthly contributor to the Fort Worth Roots podcast. You can also be a supporter of the show by going to patreon.com. I'll put that in the show notes. You can type in Fort Worth Roots in the Find Creator search bar, and it'll bring our page up. And for as little as $4 a month, you can help support the show. Aside from that, just thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, because every time you do download one of these episodes, it shows up on our analytics and all those platforms like Apple Podcast. They pay attention to that, how many people are listening to the show. So it helps us get moved around different charts and stuff. So you are already supporting the show just by listening. So thank you. All right, folks, that's it. I am out of here, and I will see you next Monday. That's it. Seriously. You don't believe me? I mean, bye!
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hey. What's going on?
Yo, what deal?
Just looking, being annoyed. What do you want?
You sound annoyed. Are you pooping and it's not going well?
No. Something totally ridiculous.
Tell me more.
Have you ever gotten garlic dipping sauce from fucking Pizza Hut?
Okay, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. My wife has to get it when we get fucking pizza. And I fucking hate the smell of it. And I mean, I fucking hate it.
Okay.
I think I've told you about this before.
I don't remember talking about this.
Anyways, one time this dummy had some of that shit and it got spilled all over the floor. And I mean, I was fucking livid. I was on the couch, I think.
Okay.
I mean, I was so goddamn mad.
When you say this dummy, are you talking about your wife?
Yes.
Okay. Just
That's
wanted
what
to
I'm
be
talking
clear.
about. Yeah.
Well, damn.
And it made me really, really mad. So she still orders this shit every time we get pizza, and I went to throw away some boxes and one falls out. What do? I step on it and it like literally squirts on my fucking leg and my foot, which is in a flip-flop, so it's all over my skin and under my foot and my shoe.
What is your deal with this particular sauce?
I just hate the fucking smell, and then that happens after I already dealt with it getting spilled all over the couch by a small child, living in my house. I have like 9 of them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm really sorry that happened to you.
Yeah. It's definitely upsetting for me.
Well, it'll be a fun story to tell later.
Yeah, I knew you were recording just because the way you were talking, you sounded like your fake self.
I don't have a fake bone in my body, Cody Halford from Abilene, Texas.
Why you gotta single me out and tell people where I live?
Anyway, I was going to try to do that Zoom meeting, see if that works.
Yeah.
You're my test pig. Are you going somewhere? You sound like you're getting in the car.
Yeah, I just got in the car.
What's happening in the car?
Remember, it was like 2 hours ago was when you were supposed to do this. Around 5 o'clock.
I got busy.
Yeah. Yeah, so now I'm busy.
Well, I need like 5 seconds. I just want to see if it'll work.
Does it work on regular cell phone network, or do I have to be in Wi-Fi?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's try it on cell phone.
Yeah, that's what we're going to have to do, because I'm not going to sit here and wait.
Okay, I'll send it to you. I'll call you right back.
Okay, bye.
Bye. My God.
It's a beard.
Jesus.
What men grow.
Okay, but that's a bit more than what men grow. That's what men from Fargo, Alaska grow.
I grew it out because of I was doing the Bob Ross thing.
Right.
So I let it grow.
Yeah, I think you just forgot to shave for a year.
Now that that's over, it's No Shave November. So let's see how fucking nuts it gets. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, I'm not shaving my neck, so
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that.
That would drive me insane. There's no way.
Yeah, but I'm gonna let this grow out and see how crazy it gets. I've never done it.
We might
I've
have.
done. Yeah, I don't do it. Like most people are like, no show in November. I'm like, yeah, that's gay. I'm not doing it. I don't have to schedule
You have an iPhone, don't you?
my facial hair growth. Yes.
It's got a terrible onboard microphone. I just want you to know that.
I apologize.
It's
for
not.
that.
It's not the volume. I can hear you just fine. It's just shit.
Did you see when I went to turn up the volume on my end?
No.
Because I just did.
No.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't see
weird.
what's on your screen.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought, but then you responded as if you could because I had just hit those buttons, and I was like, "What? Hold on."
I activated God code right before I called you. So
How does he know what I'm doing?
omnipresence. Holy shit! Are you driving?
Yeah, yeah.
You dickhead.
I was parked.
Okay.
But now I'm going.
Okay.
To drive.
Well, I'm gonna let you
Not looking at you.
stop talking. I have to get off the phone with you now because what you're doing is illegal.
Is it? I didn't know that.
I'll let you know how the recording goes. I'll call you in a minute. Bye.
All right. Goodbye.